Well, welcome to the show. We have a big show. This is the Shoot Brothers podcast. I'm Mike the Shoot Shepherd. This is Cameron, Brother Osborne.
Bang, bang.
And we started off with some explosives there because, we got an explosive show. Or was it a dud? We'll have to get into it. There's a lot to talk about. The wrestling world was ablaze either way with the fallout of Revolution. And there was a lot of other cool stuff that happened during the week of wrestling. So we got a lot to get into.
Every single one of these episodes is an explosive episode, Mike. I really shout out any fans out there listening to us on Spotify at 3.5% speed. I recently found you can
like faster.
You can
slower?
change the playback speed of podcasts, music, anything you listen to on Spotify, really, and half times faster. You're like, oh, okay, everything goes by a little quicker. Even 1 times faster. You're like, okay. Now 1.8 is around where it becomes suddenly things start becoming unintelligible. So they really decide to bump it up even further. You can go 3.5 times speed, where you don't actually understand what you're saying. So I'm like, we need to maybe carve out a chunk of the show for those people. You and I speak very slowly. We give them 3.5 minutes a week where we cover, a particular topic at a very slow speed. Because, or maybe some people just I want to get through a lot of this wrestling action because it was another fantastic week in professional wrestling. Of course, we had big old Wednesday night war that I honestly was not expecting. I wasn't expecting
huge this week.
Huge week, of course. Monday Night Raw, tweet, SmackDown. But first, Mike, like you said, we had our big Revolution pay-per-view. Revolution 2021.
Review. Huge card, loaded lineup. We were all very hyped for this, which I think may add to things, but we'll get into that. This will live on as a very controversial show for one way or another.
Amen to the controversiality amongst, one of my more controversial elements to the show was actually right at kind of the beginning because AEW has had a successful streak of no pre-show matches. And controversially, I think we kind of found out a couple days before, whatever, they threw in a pre-show match.
Yeah, the old buy-in, as they're calling it. So did you watch it then?
I did.
Well, then we got Riho and Thunder Rosa. Supposed to be taking on Britt Baker and Rebel. But Britt comes out and announces, I'm a doctor. She's not medically cleared. But we got a replacement. And it's Maki Ito, who we saw a bit in that Japanese bracket. But it's cool to see her cross over here. She's got a fun personality. She's doing the big karaoke entrance. A bit of technical difficulties with it, but I like her. She's funny.
What you gonna do? I think, means also another thing to have somebody move over from Japan to America. I think that's the bigger deal now, really, because there would have had to be a 10-day, that's a 2-week process to bring someone, all the way over from Japan over to here. So that's cool news.
Yeah, I'm happy to see her. She was cool. She was doing funny stuff in the ring, lots of headbutts and just acting like a little brat, but she's funny. Lots of middle fingers, too, in this match. Everyone was sticking the bird up.
Everyone's flipping the bird. Everyone's been flipping the bird the past week. We saw a lot of bird flipping on Being the Elite this week, too. It's it'll never die. A classic insult.
Maybe it's because March 16th coming up. That's Stone Cold Day, so everyone's flipping the birds.
We're all prepping for the 16th. Isn't that St. Patrick's Day also this year? Or St. Patrick's always on the same day? I don't know. Never mind. The match happens. The back and forth action of tag team. I don't know. Yeah, where do you want to get into it?
There was just a lot of fun spots. Eventually, Reba's the one who makes the difference on the outside with the crutch. She nails someone behind the rest back. I think it was Thunder Rosa. Mm-hmm. Britt gets the 3 count. So nice win for her and Maki Ito, who, liked her American debut here.
Yeah, a star to shine.
Oh, yeah, and as you mentioned, you just said that thing about the 10 days. One thing people noted is that she wrestled in Japan less than 48 hours before. So
that's sweet.
Not a lot of quarantine.
Wow.
But maybe they tested her on the flight.
Of course. Double, triple, quadruple
anyways,
tested.
Let's move on to this main show here. Because it's the revolution, right? Evolution. Revolution.
It's the R bracket, R end bracket revolution.
And we're kicking it off with the tag team titles. The Young Bucks defending against Chris Jericho, MJF. It's a good match to pick for the opener, I think. Just hot match, lots of fun. MJF even has he worn this before? He had like a Ric Flair robe mixed in with his scarf.
I don't know if I also don't know if I'd seen that before.
Yeah. Either way, he was looking good. His ring gear looked like Flair too, with the blue and the both Charlotte and Rick. Maybe
Amen.
He's a fan of both.
A little combo, little Charlotte Rick combo.
Anyways, great match. Lots of the Bucks doing their high flying, they always pull out a new double team move you haven't seen before every match. Even if they've done it, we haven't seen it.
They did one. They did one in this match where, I think Nick was in a handstand holding Chris Jericho with his feet against the ropes, and then Matt Jackson runs up behind him and then just gives him the big old step up in Saguri while he's just got to sit there and take it. They always do find something new.
Yeah, lots of cool. But one thing, Jim Ross started off the show. I was a little worried about him. His voice was like shot, but somehow it seemed to get better as the show went on.
Fisherman's friend, baby. It's got to be the fisherman's friend. Yeah, he did.
Or maybe he just woke up like 20 minutes before the show. Like, oh, God damn it.
There was a bit of it. Even Excalibur was like, everyone's talking about JR's voice hurting. But no, he got through this entire... Almost like his voice got better.
No, yeah, as the show went on,
somehow
it definitely cleared up a bit.
Being the professional it is, maybe it's those sweet sugars of the JR steak sauce, the JR's barbecue sauce. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just taking shots of that backstage.
Maybe mix it with a little whiskey now and then. But, Wardlow's out there. He's doing his bullshit. I think Jericho hit a tombstone piledriver at one point, which is can't say I've seen many of those from him.
No.
But, the big moment of the match came when Wardlow distracts Aubrey Edwards. Jericho nails Matt in the back with a baseball bat. MJF hits the heat seeker. I thought this was it, but Matt kicks out at 2. They had me going there. I bit hard on that one.
Yeah. It's a good one,
you know
too.
what?
He sells it.
Yeah,
Just
he's
the
great.
amount.
But some other nice near falls, but eventually the Bucks, they managed to hit the Meltzer driver, get the 3 count, retain their titles. Excellent match. I really liked it.
Yeah, this was another great match. MJF, I'll remember MJF slobbering.
After like 5 super kicks.
After 5 super kicks.
His brain couldn't function.
His brain just couldn't do it anymore. Man, every single time, and
Excalibur's like, look at the drool!
And, there's no reason to compare skills of people like that, but every single Young Bucks match I watch, I'm like, I'll see Nick Jackson. I'll be like, wow. He's the best Buck. And then Matt Jackson comes in for the tag, and then I'm like, no, I think he's the best Buck. And I go back and forth 12, 13, 14, 15 times a match, in my mind, just like, wow, which one's better at this? And God,
just be like their father and be like, they're both great.
Yeah. Oh man, Papa Buck must be so proud of his 2 sons.
Yeah, they defended their titles and defended his honor on this night.
Yeah,
but he was selling the injury. He wasn't there in the crowd to celebrate.
That's the big sell. The big sell.
Yeah.
But yeah, a great match to kick off the pay-per-view.
Yeah, maybe even one of the matches of the night. We'll see.
Well, and I think the Bucks had I think the Bucks last Revolution, that was the Bucks Omega Hangman match also. So the Young Bucks are kind of they're certainly 2 for 2 on their Revolution matches.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Let's move on because we got some more tag team. We got the Casino Tag Team Royal. They switched up the format, which I really liked. So
and they let us know, which is also very nice of them.
Yeah. So instead of coming out in just these big clusters, now they're letting everyone have their own entrances, which is cool.
This is nice. Yeah. there's enough teams here that everyone should have their own graphic.
15 teams. So that's a 30-man rumble technically, but not. Only 15 eliminations needed minimum.
It's a lot of beef,
or whatever. But anyways, 2 guys start the ring every 90 seconds. A new team comes out, so we're getting lots of action, lots of hot stuff going on. I guess one of the early stories is QT Marshall eliminates the Gun Club, who are kind of in the Nightmare family. So Dustin gets all pissed off, and QT's like, "Are you kidding me? We gotta win this!" And he just gets pissed, and he just jumps over the top rope, eliminates himself. Hawks a loogie at Dustin and walks off.
Yeah. That was a bit of a weird one. I didn't know that the I think they're called the Natural Nightmares, I think is what little grouping is called. The Nightmare family's too big, though. It's
I know. I'm sorry. I can't keep track of who's in it. I'm like,
it's
they're part of it now?
every single baby face on the roster. So you're like, great. So I can't. I can't eliminate. Yeah, and I think we saw a new guy this week. Lee Johnson was a new guy we saw this week. Aaron Solo. We saw him a couple weeks
welcome
ago.
our new cousin, Christian Cage, part of the family.
Oh, Jesus Christ, there's too many people here. There's how big is this goddamn family? And it's about to get bigger. Brandy's about to,
little baby.
Little baby Rhodes.
Girl.
Baby Rhodes, baby.
Anyways, Santana and Ortiz, they were looking good, but I think you and I wanted them to possibly
go the distance.
Go the distance, but they didn't even really make it to the final team, so a little disappointing there.
Who comes out? So it's this new team, the Bear Country.
Oh, I like those guys.
They come out Boulder and Bear. Oh, no.
Yeah, something like that.
It's an alliteration or something like that. God,
yeah.
One of them, somebody's lying on the ground, and one of these bear men which is a weird thing at home, will give Santana a nasty looking, kind of like pile driver onto the guy lying on the ground.
Oh yeah, like his head hit the guy's back. Or
yeah,
whatever?
That was actually a bump that I caught somewhere, kind of like in the middle of the match, and I kind of, oh shit, that's not good. They tricked me, but they came back. But yeah, at least Santana Ortiz did come back with some offense. At least against, they had a lot of offense against Jurassic Express whenever they decided to come in.
Yeah. Bear Country though. I really like them. They look like big brick shit houses.
Yeah, they have a thing. They dress similarly. They have
they're like Otis but more tough.
I was gonna say War Raiders.
War Raiders.
War Raiders.
They've been gone so long, I kind of forgot.
Exactly. I had to go back to find that name.
Yeah. Is it? No, it's the Viking Raiders.
It's Viking Raiders now.
Now it is, yeah.
Was
War
Viking
Raiders was
Experience.
the peak.
Was War Raiders, yeah.
Dark Order had 3 teams in this match, so hedging their bets there. 10 had a really good showing before Jack Evans, who wasn't even in the match, he showed up and pulled them over the ropes, but there was some sloppy camera work here. Didn't really catch what happened at first.
It didn't, and it did that thing, classic where Excalibur is now having to explain to us what happened.
Yeah, he's like, oh, that was Jack Evans. He was under the ring. We're like, what? When?
Preston Vance, though, gotta say, he's been booked pretty well in a couple of these larger man matches, and to be taken out by shenanigans is almost like a good sign.
Yeah, they protected him a bit.
It kind of, it means that there's something for you that we're working on.
And his partner got eliminated really early.
Yeah, I don't like 5. We need Preston Vance with another Dark Order member. Maybe Stu Grayson. I think Preston Vance and Stu Grayson. That's the fucking team.
That would be a lot more powerful.
Oh yeah, Preston Vance and good old Canadian boy. Stu Grayson.
I guess that would leave Evil Uno on his own, but after he had probably the worst spot of the match when Marco Stunt Hurricane Rana's Evil Uno off the apron, but then Uno just stands there for a second and then runs into the turnbuckle like 7 feet away and eliminates himself.
That was, it was like if he was ever any closer to the turnbuckle and didn't wait half a second.
Yeah, it would have been fine, but it just looked fine.
It was weird, yeah. I also saw that.
But I think by the end of the night, people will forget that one. But Butcher and Blade were in there. They did pretty good as well. Bunny was helping him out. Pac and Phoenix came out late, and then they just nonstop ever since they came out. They were just running on ropes, making lots of eliminations. Silver and Reynolds were the final team. They come out, get a big pop from the crowd.
Mm-hmm. Big pop.
Yeah. So eventually it comes down to Final Four, Pac and Phoenix together against John Silver and Jungle Boy. So they decide to work together. But then Silver's the first one eliminated when Phoenix does his little tightrope walk, kicks him in the head, knocks him out. So Jungle Boy's all on his own. He manages to eliminate Pac with his own momentum, but then him and Phoenix have a little back and forth. And I think at one point Phoenix does his weekly tope suicida where he just flies over the barricade into the crowd.
Bacon hero!
So they get back in, and soon after, Phoenix dumps Jungle Boy to the floor, wins the match. So tag title shot goes to Pac and Rey Fenix.
Pac. Jungle Boy gets booked in all of these so well.
Yeah,
I think the last time in the Diamond Ring match, we saw him go in the distance with MJF there, despite MJF, doing very little to remain in the match. And anytime, there's tag action like this, we've said a million times on the show that he's the fucking star of the future.
Yeah,
he really
and
is.
Pac and Phoenix in the meantime, looking good as a team.
Yeah, also looking good. Yeah, Pac hasn't done much, kind of since his coming back here after there was that long hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But overall, I think this was probably the best battle royal they've had so far in AEW, just because of the new format, less chaotic, just more time to focus on individuals.
Yeah. I just trying to think about it. Yeah, none of the other ones really stand out.
Yeah, not that this was too crazy, but just better than I like the format switch up. So
yeah.
Anyways, let's move on. We get a quick backstage interview with Paul White, where he drops a brief hint for the big signing later, saying he doesn't think anyone here can outwork this particular talent. So what does that mean? Outwork? Like outperform? Does it mean they're a good worker in the ring? Who is it?
Or are we getting worked? It's
I don't know.
Those are the actual questions.
Yeah. We'll find out. But we got the AEW Women's Championship on the line here. Hikaru Shida defending against Ryo Mizunami, who won that tournament. And apparently they have history they were talking about. Like, I don't know. They fought over the past 10 years. 3 draws and 3 meetings in Japan. What are the odds of that?
Yeah, Excalibur can sell me on anything like that when it comes to the past. So I'm kind of like,
I'm like, all right.
I'm like, okay, I'll buy it.
I know.
He seems to know stuff. So
I'll just trust him.
I have no reason to not trust him.
It's like Wikipedia. If it's there, it's got to be right.
If Excalibur's saying it, it's canon. It's officially canon.
So this was fun. Rio's the, I guess I call her a veteran. She's the older of the two. Mm-hmm. She's wily. She's having fun. She's doing little dance moves, like pulling on the rope like a mime. I think Rio gets power bombed over the barricade into the crowd at one point. So they got a good amount of time here. Some big near falls. Shida hits him. I don't know what to call it. Like a crunchy. He called it a crunchy something on the ramp outside.
Crunchy something. Okay, I may have missed that call.
Yeah. Anyways, the big moments. Rio kicks out of Shida's Tamashi at one point, which is her finisher. Mm-hmm. I don't think too many kicked out of that. But then Shida does the same and kicks out of Mizunami's guillotine leg drop off the top rope. So everyone's getting pumped here for the end of the match. Shida hits a big corkscrew knee strike to Rio's head, and that gets to the 3 count. And Shida retains. Good match.
Yeah, great match. Physical, just stiff, intense strikes. And I think we get a little post-match shenanigans when Nyla Rose, Britt Baker, Reba, they come out and they...
Maki Ito was there.
Maki Ito, of course. They come out there. Vicky Guerrero was there too. Let's not forget.
She gives like a little mule kick, just like...
Yeah, they're giving the other 2 women in the ring the business until Thunder Rosa comes out to make the save. Because of course.
Yeah, she's one of the top baby faces, like Sheena.
Yeah. Well, here's our little heel stable now, or Britt Baker.
I was going to say, I kind of like this rubbing elbows. Baker and Nyla, they're 2 of the top heels. Mm-hmm. Combined forces, bring in a nice young kid like Maki Ito, get her over.
I think you just booked it, Mike. I think you just booked it.
There we go. Then they play a little video to announce Double or Nothing, which we all expected. Although I think they said this one's going to be on a Sunday as well in May. So I think Tony Khan has said they're going to switch between Saturdays and Sundays whenever they want.
Whenever we feel like it. I like anytime Tony Khan says in an interview something to the effect of, we're just going to do what we want, and everyone goes nuts.
I think he said in this case, it's like sometimes the holiday Mondays, so it just works out on Sundays anyway. So
yeah.
Why not?
Well, you got to look against other programming also. Who knows? There could be a UFC fight the night before. You don't want to... Or maybe that Jake Paul Ben Askren boxing match is on the Saturday, and you're like, well, shit, we want people watching our program too.
Definitely. And then we go backstage. Alex Marvez wants to get a quick word with Chuck T and Orange Cassidy, but they get attacked from Miro and Kip Sabian. Orange Cassidy gets slammed on some equipment crate, but Chuck gets the worst of it as he gets slammed into a door and breaks through the glass, which I'm sure was supposed to happen, but it ended up slicing open his arm. And he was bleeding from it fairly decently.
It was an oddly specific cut though too, because like the blood was. It's just like kind of like picture the little space on your forearm, and like that's where it was. And you're like, what a weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maintained this weird visual for the rest of the match because he just kept bleeding from his arm.
It's weird. Like I assumed the window was supposed to break, so it was like trick glass, wasn't it? But then it cut his arm anyway.
Hey,
so.
Who knows? This shit happens, right?
Yeah, could have been worse though. Could have gone deeper.
I'm sure.
But anyways, luckily it didn't. But he's already cut up. He's bleeding, so they just beat him around the ring. And Chuck says, "Fuck it, ring the bell," even though his partner's not there. So they beat him up 2-on-1. He's bleeding from the arm, getting it all over his opponents. But he can't really defend himself. But he hangs in there long enough for Orange Cassidy to come down. He hits a couple orange punches, runs wild for a bit, but then. Oh, yeah, they get back in the ring. Orange Cassidy and Miro, Penelope Ford jumps up on the apron, and Miro just pushes Orange Cassidy right into her, which knocks her down, so she's injured. And then Kip goes to check on her, but Miro's like, "What are you doing?" Yells at him, so he tags him back in. Miro just beats the shit out of Chuck and locks in the game over for the submission win.
Yeah,
but I guess.
This was the match that didn't matter, right? It sort of feels like it was thrown on the card, maybe.
Yeah, this could have been a Dynamite match.
Yeah, this whole Miro thing. Yeah, this kind of little thing isn't working right now for me. We're kind of cold on Orange Cassidy. Maybe Trent getting hurt, really hurt things. Who knows?
Yeah, but I mean, hopefully this is the split between Miro and Kip because he kind of caused Penelope's injury and didn't give a shit. So
well, yeah, he's still like that dominating man.
Yeah, he looked tough here, but he needs his character. We don't know what the hell he is.
Needs to move on.
So let's move on as well because we got Hangman Page taking on Big Money Matt Hardy in the money match where the winner gets the first quarter earnings of the loser. We don't know how much. We can only speculate what that amount would be, but
I'm going to at least say tens of thousands.
Yeah, that's fair. Especially Matt. He's a veteran. I guess Hangman's a big, important guy, too. So, anyways, the match itself was, just okay. Nothing too crazy, but I don't think we need Matt taking crazy risks anyway. So,
not anymore.
His big moment. Yeah. He hit a twist of fate on the floor. That was his big moment.
That's good.
But one thing I was a little surprised about, the crowd was actually very pro-Hardy. There's a lot of Hardy chants and stuff. I thought everyone loved Hangman.
Maybe we were just on the heels. Maybe the microphone was too heavily on the heel side. Maybe.
Maybe, but there was 1,100 fans there. But, anyways, Hangman hits the dead eye, but Isaiah Cassidy distracts the ref. So Paige has to fend off the bullshit, dealing with Private Party 3-on-1 until the cavalry arrives. Dark Order come running out. They beat up Private Party. And then they catch Hangman on the outside and toss him back up onto the apron so he can hit his buckshot lariat and win the match and the money. And then afterwards, Dark Order, they get in the ring, they celebrate, they applaud Hangman, and then he embraces them and brings it in for a big group hug. So I love it.
The friendship, not based on money or what you can do for the other person. No. The impenetrable bond between the Dark Order and Adam Hangman Page.
Yeah. And
then
Colt Cabana comes out with some brisk cold beer, and they all celebrate. It's very nice.
Yeah. It was a beautiful little bit. We're still waiting for Hangman to join the Dark Order, I guess.
Yes. And then we get... So this part of the show is a little bit of weird booking, I thought, because we only have 3 matches left, and you got a ladder match, a street fight, and a death match all in a row. Thought it was a little... Could have put the ladder match maybe a bit earlier.
3 big steps, coming up. It's always fun counting down the card where, the big money match, I wouldn't necessarily call that a stipulation, although it did have a stipulation.
Yeah. But anyway, it's just something I found a little bit weird. The street fight I get going second last because it's cinematic. Gives you time to set up the barbed wire. But the ladder match. I don't know. we'll get into it anyways. The face of the Revolution ladder match. The winner gets a TNT title shot. So we got Max Caster, Lance Archer, Scorpio Sky, Penta, El Zero Miedo, Cody Rhodes, and then the mystery star turns out to be Ethan Page. But that wasn't the big surprise. There'll still be more. But that was a surprise. You know? How did you feel?
Yeah, I had no clue. Well, I had no clue what was going on. I had no clue who that person was.
I know of him, but I don't know much about him.
But I started saying to myself, I saw Hangman Page, Ethan Page, Brian Cage. Oh my God, there's going to be a rhyme match coming up. For the official owner of the name Page. I think Ethan Page, Hangman Page, maybe a brother angle. Of both of them versus Brian Cage to see, who can hold the rhyme. I don't know. Potential.
And then Diamond Dallas Page comes out.
Too many.
He's like, I am your father.
Yeah. Too many pages, if you ask me.
But anyways, so we got our 6 participants. Another thing I found a little weird was during Cody's entrance, they cut to Jade Cargill, and she was clapping for him in the crowd. I'm like, why are you cheering for them?
Yeah, I don't know if I caught that, but she was also there. I guess maybe I noticed that she was there. I guess that's what I should say.
There was just a lot of things. This match for me was weird from the beginning, and I guess I don't know. The final thing worth noting is the actual prize you had to grab, the brass ring that they had hanging from the roof.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed by the brass ring, just because it kind of felt like a lifesaver at the pool, but then kind of coated gold.
Yeah, definitely. Sonic the Hedgehog rings as well.
Yeah, maybe. Yes, it was a real Sonic vibe.
But I mean, it didn't look that cool either way. It was a little funny looking. I mean, AEW's done this. They had the poker chip. They like their big props. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's because you're trying whatever you can to not use a briefcase.
Yeah,
that's really what it is. It's
that's
what
true.
Can we use that's not a briefcase to convey this message?
But you know what? I mean, guys, they work hard in the ladder match, but I don't know. Like I said, this whole thing, something was just a little off. It was a little underwhelming to me. There were still the big spots, like Archer at one point was sandwiched in the middle of a ladder, and guy gets power bombed on top of him to crush him in the middle. And then the craziest spot was probably they had the ladder set up between the barricade and the ring, and Penta hits a big destroyer to Cody on top of the ladder, which did not break, but still looks devastating.
Yeah, those AEW ladders are a little bit thicker than these flimsy Vince McMahon ladders.
I think one of them did break later when Archer threw someone over the ropes.
That's Lance Archer.
Yeah, he's a beast. But anyways, this vicious destroyer, Cody, he sells it hard. He gets taken out of the match, taken to the back by the officials, but that's just so he can rest. So back in the ring, we get lots of climbing, fingertips, touching the big ring. Eventually Cody does come back out, though, with his belt, and he just starts whipping people around, and I noticed there was actually some boos in the crowd for Cody here at some points.
That heel turn is going to be massive.
Yeah, and it's needed. I mean, if he's not doing it on purpose at this point, then he's not very self-aware. He's been doing little things for a while now that are bugging me.
Remember black hair, Cody?
Oh, God.
How can we forget?
That 1 week.
Yeah, maybe 2.
That was weird. Maybe 2. Raw Underground made that look short.
Oh yeah, that was a 2020 moment of the year. God, we should have included. Just maybe that's.
That could have been your pick for best hair. You didn't.
Maybe that should be a shooty, just best thing we forgot about. Or maybe that's where the rest in peace needs to come from, not from actual. I mean, it's too sad. I don't want to talk about professional wrestlers who are no longer with us, but I would love to talk about booking decisions that are no longer with us.
Something that tried and failed and was
something that tried and failed,
brushed.
a la Raw Underground, a la Black Hair Cody, a la Superstar. I know, and Brand to Brand Invitational.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll put a pin on that one for next year's shooties. I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah, it's a good idea though. I like it. So anyways, Cody's back. Him and Scorpio Sky, they fight up to the top of the ladder, and Scorpio manages to knock Cody down and unhooks the giant brass ring to win the match and earn himself a TNT title shot, which is this very Wednesday. No time to even hype it. No time to even for a promo.
No time to recover either.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can always do this with Cody too, being, he's our little golden boy. He's our little, little golden retriever. So the story can always be him fighting back. And sometimes overcoming the odds, sometimes not overcoming the odds. And this was one of those cases. Nice to see Scorpio Sky, though, get a win.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's, when AEW first started, he was in the mix a lot, and then kind of cooled off a bit. And now he's back in it.
SCU were the inaugural champions of the tag team belt.
Yeah. So either way, I think this was one of the lesser quality ladder matches in recent years. But it's like pizza. Even the worst ladder match isn't that bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't terrible. I've just seen a lot better. And
if you're hungry and someone's like, "Hey, do you want a slice of pizza?" I guess if you're fucking hungry, you're like, yeah, I'll have it. It's there.
Yeah. Anyways, so it was what it was.
Yeah.
Then it was time for our big surprise signing. They did a lot of job hyping this up. The wrestling world was speculating, some crazy names were out there. Brock Lesnar, Batista, CM Punk,
The classics.
Yeah, the classics. I'm like, probably not, but there's a small chance. But either way, they did hype it up a lot. And then out comes Christian Cage, which I like Christian, but I think they overhyped it a little bit. But
well, all the clues were right there. He'll outwork you. He is a Hall of Fame caliber performer.
No, that part's fair, but the outwork, so he came out with a new shirt that said outwork everyone, but it's a brand new shirt, so how are we supposed to understand the clue?
Because as soon as he opened up the shirt, you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, now it does, but anyways, I think it might have been, if they had just said nothing and he just showed up, that would have been maybe a bit more effective. People would be like, oh shit. Because then there was no expectation.
Yeah,
but either way, maybe, I like Christian.
Or maybe just less week, or it's like a 1 week thing of like Big Show being like, yo, Saturday you're going to find him. Or Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Christian, but yeah, he's a 47-year-old man. He's not going to
good Canadian
much.
Kid, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're going to get the hometown bump. You're going to get the hometown bump.
Oh, when they do inevitably come here, we're going to cheer our hearts out.
Of course. The pride of joy of Kitchener, Ontario. Him and Jamal Murray have the keys to the city.
Jamal Murray, former Toronto Maple Leaf.
What?
Or wait, no, I'm sorry, I was thinking Jamal Mayers.
I don't even know who the fuck that is.
I was going to say, how do you know Jamal?
And why does he have the key to Kitchener? Two big questions.
Well, let's just move on to this the street fight. That I feel like this one's been built up more than any other match just based on weekly promo time.
Well, I think Winter is Coming was December.
December 1st?
Something like first week of December, yeah. So it has been,
and pretty much every single week since then.
3 months. 3.5 months of Sting!
Yeah. So we're finally getting it. Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, Darby Allin, Sting, street fight. And they did go the cinematic route, as was speculated. So it starts off with Starks and Cage. They drive in the nice sports car. I don't know how Cage even fits in it. But they drive up to this old abandoned warehouse. It's all dusty, dimly lit. Looks like the set of every fight scene of the 90s Batman movies.
Yeah. They're kind of walking up to this to a warehouse filled with what can only be described as thugs. Yeah.
And there's always a giant fan that still works that's just like to reflect shadows.
Yeah, who's powering this operation? Like, you think somebody would have cut off the power bill by then.
Yeah. So they come, and then on the other side, this army of Stings just walking up, a bunch of people with masks on. And then we see Darby. He's skateboarding down the road, and he grabs onto the back of this semi-truck to hitch a ride. And that's driven by Sting. And one nice little touch, both men, they did their face paint like half and half. So one side was Sting's face, one side was Darby's.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, some nice teamwork. And as I speculated when you mentioned this past week of guys coming out in their own T-shirts. I said, well, I think Sting's going to wrestle this whole match with it on because he's trying to hide that little belly. And he did.
But you think in 3.5 months, you could you go on a bit of a diet.
They could. Or you could just go and
a little heavier.
just do the Jericho and not care. But no, I guess he's self-conscious. He wanted to keep that shirt on. But anyways, this match, it was fun. They do have an actual ring set up there. They got a referee. And they even had live commentary, which they might not have needed because it was cinematic.
And Taz was one of them. So it was mostly just Taz going, get up, Ricky.
Yeah.
Get up, Ricky.
Kill that Darby.
Get Darby. It was mostly just that. Yeah. And you know how, fuck him in the first.
I think I heard him. He even opened a soda can at one point during the match. Yeah, there was an audible.
Well, so I need my Diet Coke.
But anyways, we got some fun spots. Like the ring was like right beside a brick wall. So at one point, Darby just like bounces and runs up the wall and dives off of it. I don't know. Then they split off for a bit into pairs, and Sting stays with Starks. They do some wrestling in the ring, and across the warehouse, Cage picks up Darby, throws him through a door, breaks it down, and then Cage, he was just looking like the Hulk here. He at one point he picks up Darby for a vertical suplex and walks up an entire flight of stairs while holding him up there. Quite impressive.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. He's a big boy. Yeah. He can do it. He can pull it off.
And they would do like these camera transitions, like drone shots or whatever. They just like zoom across to the other side of the warehouse, and then we'd see Sting with Stark, and he's got his baseball bat, and Ricky's like, "Hey, you're nothing without the bat." So Sting's like, "Oh yeah," and he just chucks it up to the roof, just beats him around with his bare hands, and eventually the four of them all meet up again, and they're upstairs. Some barrels are thrown around, fire extinguishers. Then eventually these masked guys appear, but it's Team Taz, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Hook. They're beating the guys up. They're helping them out. Hobbs and Cage pick up Darby by his arms and legs. They do the old playground heave-ho, the 1, 2, 3 as they throw him through a pane glass window. And then eventually they take Sting back down to the lower floor and beat him around. But then Darby appears from up above, tosses his baseball bat down from earlier. So Sting unloads on them and then picks up a shovel, hits Brian Cage in the head with a shovel, and Cage just kind of rolls over the railing onto this balcony, this big platform made of wood. But as he lays there, Darby Allin jumps off the top story of this building, comes crashing down through Cage, breaking through this platform. They fall down into the abyss. We have no idea how high up they are. But they're gone. So back in the ring, Sting, Starks, they go at it. Starks looks for a power bomb, but Sting gets out, hits a Scorpion Death Drop, and that's it. Gets the win for him and Darby.
Yeah, gets the win. Wow. Yeah, they packed a lot of action into what was pretty much like a short match. And we had to get like 6 different high elevation coffin drops in there.
Yeah, he was climbing up beams.
It was one of those things where I think I think I liked the Undertaker one a bit better. This one felt a little. Oh my god! I was almost using the word far-fetched. But yeah, Darby Allin wouldn't have been able to climb up that in the amount of time that the match happened in. And there were some of those cool, like you said, some really, really cool production effects that they had going on. Brian Cage was wearing a shirt that said Swolverine, which I thought was also pretty cool. Way better than just wearing a shirt with your fucking name on it. If you're gonna at least brand it out, we're Swolverine. He's got those mutton chops. I'd buy it.
Certainly.
I'd buy it. If you're asking me.
Well, you can. I'm sure it's for sale.
I'm sure you can buy AEWshop.com.
Put your money where your mouth is. It was no boneyard match, but it was decent.
Yeah, I mean, for another fucking 60-year-old doing this shit, yeah. I think my biggest question, kind of going forward, like where does Sting go from here? Because we have spent 3.5 fucking months building up to this one match. So do we spend another 3.5 months building up to another match? But more importantly, is just whatever the heck's going on with Team Taz. Like,
I don't know.
Because
But,
again, you know, I mean, I guess it kind of worked against both of their favors. I feel where 3.5 months of building the match for Sting and Darby, and then they got the win. 3.5 months of building the match for Team Taz, and they got the loss. Like, there's one thing like losing a match when you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna win," but when you say, "Hey, I'm gonna win" for 3.5 months and then you lose. Like, that's fucked, kinda, right? Especially when it took all four of you couldn't pull it off. So Team Taz, I feel looking in a tough spot right now.
Yeah, they're gonna need to rebuild a little bit.
Yeah, rebuild, disband, whatever the heck it is. But they spent 3.5 months losing, and then they lost. Yeah, poor guys. Taz isn't helping the way that MVP is helping over on the other side. You know?
No.
Like if you're on, you're part of Team MVP, like you're getting fucking gold. You know, you're part of Team Taz. You get a shitty orange belt, and then a bunch of losses. So yeah, I mean, not to compare the two. I mean, they're different managers in their own right, but
no, it's fair.
Yeah.
But I do think we will see some actual wrestling match with Sting at one point.
Yeah,
you know, this was a good warm up, a good practice, but I think he'll want to have an actual in ring match at some point in front of a live crowd.
Yeah, lose some of that belly. And he'll get out there in no time. It'll be good.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to it. This is the main event.
The main event.
Yes, the one we've all been waiting for. The AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. Exploding barbed wire death match. Kenny Omega defending against Jon Moxley. So we have 3 sides of the ring wrapped in barbed wire. And contact with the wire causes explosion. And there are wooden platforms on the ground as well with barbed wires, and they're rigged with explosives. And after 30 minutes, all explosives in and around the ring will detonate. Who knows? Catastrophe, destroying the men and the ring and all. Who knows? Let's get on with the show.
Please do, because like Triple H has his multiple ring attires. You know, I mean, or, you know, what he wrestles in versus what he's going to kick a little ass in versus, you know, when he's his corporate man. Kenny Omega comes down to the ring wearing loose-fitting jeans, volleyball knee pads, and a shirt that he cut the sleeves off of. An entire new look for the AEW World Champion.
Yeah, I think they maybe saw some cowboy boots.
Cowboy boots under the ill-fitting jeans? What?
Under the jeans, maybe. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe they're just resting boots.
Those weren't just jeans. Those were ill-fitting jeans. They
had a point though. They protect you more from those barbs.
That's a good point. Barbs. That's a good point. If I'm falling on barbed wire, I'd rather have some jeans.
And speaking of protection, referee Bryce Ramsberg had the whole hazmat bomb suit.
Yeah,
which was a nice touch. They used to always do that in the old
that's fun.
Japanese matches.
That's fun.
Which, of course, I'm sure Kenny Omega did that for a reason. But anyways, you know, the match starts out a little slow. They got to build it. They're teasing. They're trying to push each other, shove each other in the wires. Lots of, stopping themselves. And, submission holds. But there is that one side that's opened up so you can kind of come in and out. So we get some other weapons brought in as well. You know, the old barbed wire bat, the garbage can, Kenny Omega throws the powder into the eyes of Moxley.
The powder, not the powder.
Yeah. Could be salt, could be baking soda. Who knows what it is, but it doesn't feel good. And then he grabs Moxley, throws him into the barbed wire ropes. We get our first explosion, which I thought was just okay. Not terrible, but just okay. How about you? Your thoughts on the first explosion?
My thoughts on the first I think it was what I was expecting.
I don't know. I think I watched too many of the Japanese ones beforehand because they had bigger explosions.
Now, I think you may have. Now, I think you also may have.
So it's my fault. Like
because I saw that and I was like, whoo, I've never seen that before. So for me, I would actually say we were 1 for 1 in terms of, first explosion.
I give it a pass. I'd give it a 6 out of 10 for the first explosion. So a pass.
6 out of 10 is a pass.
Yeah, it's a pass.
It's a pass.
But, and one thing too, the explosion was like a foot away from the ropes instead of actually right on it as well. So I don't know. I'm being nitty-picky.
Okay.
But
nitty-picky. that's what you're doing. That's what you're being.
In a death match, you got to use terms like that.
Nitty-picky.
But like I said, I did in the previous weeks. I watched a lot of old Japanese exploding barbed wire death matches, and they're pretty crazy. But, anyways, no, the first explosion, the crowd popped it. They liked it. So let's go on. Kenny's in control. He hits a big Kotaro crusher to Moxley, face first, onto the garbage can. And you could, for those astute viewers, you could quickly see Mox do a little swipe across his forehead.
A little Mask of Zorro, give himself a little...
Yeah, a quick blade job, and it was a good one.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe the second best in AEW ever, next to Dustin.
Well, Dustin holds, one of the best blade jobs we've seen in the last 5 years. Of all time.
I'll say it. But this was great. He had the good blood flowing just right away. The whole face was painted red. We get some barbed wire wrapped in chairs. Barbed wire boards were in the corner as well that Moxley gets broken through. Those ones weren't explosive.
Moxley did his cool barbed wire around his arm, and then you go for it. You
he
go
loves
for
to
a
do
choke.
That. Go for the choke. Start punching you.
Moxley.
Then Kenny tries to put him in a figure four, but Moxley kicks him backwards, and he bounces off the rope, causes an explosion, and as Kenny's still selling it, Moxley drop kicks him back into the same ropes, and we get a second explosion. So that part I thought was cool. I didn't know you could blow up the same side more than once. So that surprised me a little bit. So I didn't
okay.
see that
I think I just assumed that every time you hit it, it was going to go bang.
No, well, in the Japan ones, it was like each side was good for one boom. And maybe that's why it was so big.
Everyone got one boom.
Yeah. Well, you get 4 booms in a match. That's a lot of booms.
That's a big boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. But anyways, the little booms, the people were happy. So we're still going back and forth. More weapons. Moxley's trying to hit the paradigm shift. Or he's got him in the hold. But then Kenny just pushes them both backwards into the ropes for another explosion. But Kenny sells it that it got him right in the eyes because he was right there face first. So the referee, Bryce Ramsberg, asks for a water bottle. They're pouring it all over him, trying to get him that vision back.
You know what they say in science class? You have to wash out your eyes. Take a water bottle and just kind of gently pour it on your eyes. That'll clear out any of the anything. Yeah,
the soot.
Soot.
But then they fight out onto the apron. They're hanging on the apron right in front of those big boards, and then Moxley hits a huge paradigm shift off the ring through the barbed wire board on the floor, causing 2 little puffs to go off. The bump was awesome.
Huge bump! Oh my god! It's similar. Remember the Kenny or the paradigm shift to Kenny through the fucking? It was like a glass coffee table. I think that one was the first. Like that and this one. God, he knows how. Kenny Omega knows how to land on his head.
He just jumped on his head through barbed wire.
We've said it before. He knows how to jump on his head. I learned that from Kota Ibushi, of course.
Now, this explosion was a little bit lesser, no? This one was kind of just a little...
It
was 2 puffs, but it was nowhere near the guy. I don't know.
Well, I wonder if it was one of those things... Well, obviously, if they don't land... he didn't land exactly on the explosion, so the explosion happened beside him.
I just wanted more smoke and sparks.
You wanted more...
Yeah. Anyways, the bump was amazing. Don't get me wrong.
Huge bump.
I feel like just a whole barbed wire match, this match would have been great. But anyways, this whole bump, this gave Kenny Omega the time for his little blade job. So he comes up. He's bleeding from the forehead. So both men back in the ring. They're beaten. They're bloody. And then we start to hear the ominous ticking of the clock as commentary warns us. 10 minutes, roughly, until the bomb goes off. And they're making a big deal out of it. Something bad is going to happen. So, knowing this, the match speeds up a bit. Both men trying to go for pinfalls, trying to get this match finished. Kenny hits a couple V-triggers in the corner, and then he hits the one-winged angel. And he covers Moxley for the pin, but they're right beside the ropes, and in a very clever spot, Moxley puts his leg on the rope at the 2 count, causing an explosion, breaking the pin, but not technically a kick out. So
damn.
Still protects it.
That was pretty cool. Yeah,
I like that. That was a clever spot. So Kenny just got blinded 10 times in this match. Every explosion hit him in the face. So he's blinded. Moxley takes advantage. But then the Good Brothers come out. They start interfering. So Moxley's got to try to fend him off. But then they bring out this barbed wire bat, and Kenny nails Moxley in the head, and the bat explodes. That was probably my favorite explosion of the match, because that one actually surprised me, and it was more contained.
I didn't see exploding bat on the on the play card.
Yeah, so that one was cool. Moxley, though, somehow kicks out of that. So the Good Brothers take a chair. They set it up in the seated position. And then Omega hits a running one-winged angel, crushing Moxley through the chair. And that earns him the 3 count. So Omega retains his title with a lot of help.
Retains his title with a lot of help. Seems to be the story of him retaining the title.
Mm-hmm. But that's not the end. As he's celebrating, Don Callis was on commentary the whole time, and he's getting worried. So he rushes down to get Kenny out of there, because the timer's still counting down. It's almost up. But before they leave, they want to make sure Moxley can't. So they beat him down some more. They grab handcuffs and cuff him. So he's trapped in the danger zone. And then we get to the final minute. Sirens are going off. Big warnings. There's danger. Don Callis says, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting to safety. Commentary's yelling, somebody get Moxley out of here. Take cover. They are hyping this thing up. Like a bomb's going to go off. So Eddie Kingston comes running out. There's 20 seconds left. The crowd is like, oh my God, this is emotional. This is his best friend. Moxley's too beat up to even stand. Eddie's trying to save his life, but he can't get him. Can't get him to wake up, and the clock's running out. So he does all he can. He just lays over his friend to try and cover him up. The timer reaches 0. Commentary yells, take cover! And then we just get some no, not at first. There was the sparklers, and then a couple pops, and then some sad plumes of smoke, and then there was about 2 or 3 seconds of just shocked silence, and then some boos started to rain down, some heavy boos. This was bad.
And we faded to black.
Well, no, we didn't, because poor Eddie has to lay there and sell it like he's dead, as medical personnel come out to help him, and the crowd is not liking this at all. The last few minutes of the show are just Eddie and Moxley being checked out as they go off air. And this was supposed to be Moxley's big write-off to kill him off TV so he could go home and have a baby with Renee.
Was this supposed to be the write-off?
This explosion was supposed to be big enough to kill him.
Wow.
And it was not good.
It wasn't until about 10 minutes left in the match where I guess I didn't pick up that the whole thing was going to explode.
Yeah,
I guess I missed it. So it wasn't until like 10 minutes I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds like fun. There was a lot of time though between the end of the match and kind of that last spot though.
Yeah,
it felt like it at least. I'm like, Jesus Christ, they're still beating down on the guy. Like, get it done.
I mean, overall, the guys, I don't blame the wrestlers. They did their part. It's not their fault that the explosion wasn't that good. But honestly, I think if they had just made it from the very beginning, just a barbed wire death match, just barbed wire, no explosions, then I wouldn't have been disappointed at all. But
yeah, I mean, I guess. Well, is it on them for not meeting your expectations, or is it on us for having our expectations be too wild? I
think it's both.
It's probably.
They're the ones that hyped it up, so they got me excited. They had to deliver.
It's probably a bit of both. Mike, like you said, you've been watching a lot of these barbed wire death matches over the last week, and I chose to remain, to not check them out. Right, so I was actually stoked with a lot of the explosions, mainly because I knew, I'm like, these guys are 37 years old. They're not actually going to, there's not going to be a chance their hair catches on fire like Michael Jackson in a Pepsi commercial. I'm like...
Well, that's why they douse with water before.
But you got to use baby oil to make yourself slick. I don't think I was expecting what everyone else was expecting. I think I was...
Moxley... When I saw Moxley was being interviewed, he's like, I told Tony, if we're going to do this, you got to let me go all the way with it. No half-ass shit. And I think they did half-ass.
Yeah, I really don't know. I wasn't... it sounds like people were expecting open flames.
not open flame. Like you saw that one clip that I sent you at just like the one big moment.
Yeah, that one big moment.
explosion.
Yeah, you think that would have like you sent me a little clip of
It didn't even have to be that big, but even half of that would have been good.
as the final explosion.
Because that looked like a bomb. Like there was dust everywhere. There was soot.
Yeah, I thought they would at least destroy the ring. One of those. Like when Braun
Even just
Strowman
more smoke.
and
Even
Big
if it was
Show
just
does
like,
something.
yeah, that too. Collapse the ring, and even if it was just like a big puff of smoke that so you couldn't see inside the ring, so it just made it look like I don't know.
Like if if the show ended before the ring exploded, that would have been fine because the match would have been over and you would have been like, oh, okay.
Yes. Either way, I am a bit more critical of it because my expectations were very high.
Yeah.
So either way, I still give the match a passing grade, but a terrible ending to the show that kind of will forever put a dampen on that pay-per-view that people will always remember that bad explosion at the end.
Yeah, unfortunately they will. But hey, AEW doesn't have many missed marks.
No,
and
usually they try to correct it when they do something wrong.
Certainly, it's a risk to go off with. I wonder what was going on over there at head office. But
yeah,
I think.
But all that said, I still think I would say their first match, the lights out match, I would say would be the better of the two for me.
Yeah, because the two matches, it did feel very similar. This one was a little more bloody, but then that one had that barbed wire trampoline. So
yeah, the trampoline.
Remember the
broken glass,
the barbed wire trampoline. What was that? It was Full Gear, I think it was 2 full gears ago.
Yeah, I forget exactly when, but
whenever that was. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think overall, I really liked this pay-per-view. I see what everyone's freaking out about the ending, but yeah, I don't think my expectations were as high as everybody else's.
For me, it wasn't just the explosion. It was a couple things. Like, it was still okay. And like I said, the pizza thing. But, like, the ladder match wasn't as good as I wanted. The Christian Cage surprise wasn't as big as they hyped the main event. But I loved the tag match. I liked the women's match a lot. I liked, there's still, the blood was great. They worked hard, the main event. But overall, it was, I don't know, it was one of the lower, on the pay-per-view rating scale of all AEW's pay-per-views. It's near the bottom for me.
You can't crush them all, right?
Yeah. They've only had like 10, so.
That's a good point, That is a good point. I'm sure we could find pay-per-views from all over the planet that are all worse than AEW's 10 pay-per-views. But that was the show. That was Revolution 2021.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be too hard. Like you said, I'm usually the eternal optimist.
Are you?
On this show. I don't know. Don't you say that?
I think I've said that before. Yeah, you're right.
You've said it. No. Anyways, the performers, they worked hard. It was fun. Either way, it was very memorable. It was the talk of the town for the wrestling week. So.
Yeah, and they'll certainly have to address a lot of these things on Dynamite coming up, which I'm sure they probably will. Yeah, if Eddie Kingston didn't sell it, if nobody sold it, that would have been sweet. Fucking,
if they called an audible and had...
Yeah, like Kingston's hanging on Moxley, bomb goes off, and they all sit up like, what the fuck was that?
They look
boom,
up, and then
sold, boom.
Kenny and Don come out laughing. Or,
Yeah, whole thing. And then it's like, that's perfect. You made them scared it was going to explode. That is where you want to be. But it was kind of like they put their foot in the water on both sides of what they wanted to do. Who the heck knows?
No, that's just what compounded everything, yeah. The fact that Kenny Eddie, his head was down. He didn't even know really probably how bad it was until afterwards.
Yeah, and he went out there just doing what he was told. So,
yeah.
God, too bad.
Too bad. But that was that.
That was that, baby. That was that, and that was our wrestling pay-per-view. God, that took a little long. That took a little longer than we thought it would now.
Yeah. We can abbreviate SmackDown Raw a bit to make up.
Yeah, we'll play a little abbreviation game over the first half of the week because, God, I guess we're building towards Fastlane and a lot of exciting things because, of course, we are on the road to WrestleMania. Before we get into that, I think it's time for a new Tweet of the Week champion. It's the Tweet of the Week. It's the Tweet of the Week. Last week, of course, 8-time Tweet of the Week champion Randy Orton was getting into it with Soulja Boy.
A rap battle.
0-time Tweet of the Week champion, Soulja Boy. Wale, though, he is the 1-time Tweet of the Week champion, kind of representing the hip-hop community there. But that's neither here nor there because they were going back and forth about things about wrestling being fake. And throughout the week, actually, a bunch of other kind of like WWE affiliated accounts and some other professional wrestlers got into it by just kind of showing photos of, what people's skin after a ladder match or after, a chair match, where so the UK WWE account tweets out a photo of Drew and Sheamus after this past Monday's brutal account where they've got scratches all over their body, and not Dakota Kai, but the other one, Tegan Knox, kind of jumped in there talking about her injuries herself. A couple people got in there, and which was a lot of fun. But I think in a tweet of the week first, because like we said before, anybody can win the tweet of the week champion. But this is the first time that just some random motherfucker comes out, runs down to the ring like Titus O'Neil, but he doesn't trip. No, he jumps in there. He just takes everyone out because this week's Tweet of the Week champion is Dustbuster 255. His photo is the Miz with his snarling grin after winning his second WWE championship after cashing his Money in the Bank briefcase. You can picture what that smile looks like.
Oh yeah.
Where he responds to the entire affair, Soulja Boy Randy Orton, just by saying, "Bro, the child bride of a demonic clown you murdered on national television is causing you to vomit oil once per week." So succinctly too, he just straight to the point. You're right, fucking Randy.
And he's clearly a fan. He knows the storyline.
He knows what's going on, baby. He's there with Bliss. He's there with the Fiend. Yeah. He knows what's happening. Dustbuster knows what's happening. And I think this is where the confusion, the constant wrestling is fake confusion argument is, I think it's so perfectly depicted between Randy Orton, Soulja Boy, and Dustbuster 255, because see, what Randy Orton's saying is, no, I actually get hurt. It's not a play fight. But what Soulja Boy is saying is, no, it's all fake. Like, you guys write it and make it up. And what Dustbuster 255 is saying, he's like, yeah, we do write it up. But the fighting is real.
Yeah,
it's nobody can ever see the other person's side on that because it's fake.
There's no middle ground.
Yeah, there's never middle ground. It's like, it's fake. No, it's not. It's fake. No, it's not. It's like, well, they're both. They're both of these things. That's why we call it kayfabe. And I do like somebody else, kind of not from the professional wrestling community, actually hopping in there, and stealing this championship away. Kind of like his photo is the Miz cashing in his Money in the Bank contract on Drew McIntyre, and just like Miz snuck in there for the win. Dustbuster 255. You snuck in there this week, baby. You're a one-time Tweet of the Week champion.
Well, Mr. Dustbuster.
Well earned. If
hopefully he's talking about the appliance and not he's not huffing anything.
I never thought of that. And 255 could be area code. We're coming for you, wherever the heck you are. But there you go. There's our Twitter action this week.
There we go. All right. Yeah, let's do an abbreviated main roster thing to kind of give us, there's always things that happen that aren't important. Baron Corbin fights, stuff like that.
Okay, folks, it's Friday night. It's time for SmackDown Live. It used to be on Tuesday, but then I think it was on Friday before, though. No, wait, we used to film it on a Thursday and then release it. It's just SmackDown Live. Dominic Mysterio fights. What else? I'm sure Nia Jax is going to be on television this week.
Yeah. Well, one guy we've been asking about. So Seth Rollins is getting interviewed backstage when Murphy walks up. He's finally back. No sign of Aaliyah anyway. And he just wants to join Seth Rollins again, just like that.
Like, hey, bud, I'm back.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't think
Aaliyah's name ever even came up throughout this episode. And we did see Dominic and Ray.
Yeah. Dom had a good match against Chad Gable.
Chad Gable, yeah. Mr. Heel Boy Otis and Chad Gable. Poor Tucker, R.I.P., main event.
Then I guess another one of the big matches, Bianca Belair took on Shayna Baszler. And of course, we had to get our weekly Reginald. He's on every show now. He's just fucking everything up, eh?
So weird.
This Reggie?
Yeah, well, we did say last week, he's the new James Ellsworth.
Yeah. Carmella also officially dumped him earlier in the show. So, but anyways, Bianca hits the KOD on Shayna Baszler to get a big win. So that was good for her.
Yeah. Well, this. I mean, everything around here is so weird.
Yeah.
Why are Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax taking on the two women who should be feuding for Mania? Shouldn't they, like, you think Shayna and Nia would be in that Naomi Lana world, or world with the Riot Squad, or I think Tamina and Natalya had a couple matches together.
I know this kind of wastes the next couple of weeks, or maybe they want to do that so that.
But really, I mean, it's like, fuck, Mike. I feel like we sound like a broken record because every single... It's like, I feel like for the past year and a half, dare I even say 2 years, that this women's tag team championship pretty much exclusively follows women who already have the other championship. Whether it's Asuka holding both, whether it's Bayley holding both, whether it's Sasha holding both, whether it's Alexa Bliss, whether it's like Nikki Cross holding one while in a match for the other. It sort of seems like these tag championships can't actually find another tag team to championship.
Well, they just won't let them for whatever reason.
So weird, yeah. So much. They came and everyone's like, yeah, they get a chamber match for it. Why don't you? Like it was. But then yeah, it's just I'm trying to think. Yeah, the last time, it just feels. I mean, weird.
They have good runs here and there, the Kabuki Warriors and the Bliss Cross. But then they just do nothing for too long.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, it's not. I don't think it's so much of them, being in good hands. It's that they're only in the hands of, or like, they're constantly going against either the woman who has the Raw Women's Championship or the woman who has the SmackDown Women's Championship. They're never just like against another tag team that doesn't have another championship.
Yeah,
it feels weird.
Well, we got Murphy though in a match. He's back, like we said. And he took on Cesaro, but Murphy's comeback didn't do a whole lot. Cesaro just pretty much squashes him, hits the big swing, sharpshooter, gets the win.
Well, yeah, Cesaro's getting pushed. Of course he's going to get the fucking win.
Well, I'm happy for Cesaro, but Murphy, poor Murphy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You brought him back. Well, I don't know.
So
you brought him back, and now he's took 3 steps back. He lost his girlfriend.
Who's booking this show?
And where the hell's Aleister Black? God damn it.
God damn it.
Anyways, backstage, Reginald, he tries to get in with Sasha, but then Nia kind of adopts him. So now Reggie's part of their crew because Nia thinks he's cute.
Because sure, why not?
Yeah. Apollo Crews, I guess we find out more about his new character. He's got like a military guys with him and his spear. He's all Nigerian heritage now.
Mm-hmm. He had a couple backups. Yeah, a couple guys, kind of bodyguards or whatever.
They'll probably shoot you.
Yeah, probably.
He's got an accent too. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, they kind of did a Kofi Kingston on him, where now he has an accent. That's okay.
But the main event is Daniel Bryan versus Jey Uso in a steel cage. And if Bryan wins, he faces Reigns for the title at Fastlane.
This is the second time we've seen a steel cage match on SmackDown in the last few months. We had one on like that Christmas Day, Boxing Day episode. We've been keeping the steel cage away from Monday Night Raw as of late. No real stip matches ever happening on that card, I feel.
Yeah, that's true. But it was a fun match. Mm-hmm. We get their standard cage, throwing each other into the wall, some slams off the sides. Uso hits a super kick followed by the Uso splash for a big 2 count. Then eventually Bryan hits a big butterfly suplex off the top rope, transitions it right into the S-lock. Uso grabs the rope, but there's no rope break, no DQ, so he's got to tap out, which he does. So Bryan wins the match and gets the title shot at Fastlane.
Great outcome of that match, too. I think Daniel Bryan, it's been
gonna be fun.
It's been a while since Daniel Bryan's had a championship opportunity, so we might as well just fucking give it to him now, because as we know, Edge is taking on Roman Reigns this WrestleMania.
Or is he? Could be Edge Bryan.
I guess it could be Daniel Bryan. We do not know that.
It probably won't, but... But there we go. That was a little quick SmackDown, so let's do the same to Raw.
Let's get Raw!
Lashley's kind of got a new grander entrance now. He's all almighty, lightning bolts, pyro.
Yeah,
everywhere.
I think he got some pyro this week, which, I mean, of course, you're the WWE champion. You should have a little bit of pyro.
Yeah.
Of course.
I don't know if it was just me or if it was just... I felt like there was more pyro this week than regular. If it was WWE trying to rub it into AEW, or if it was just me noticing.
I don't know. I haven't. I can't think about it, but
Doesn't matter. The reason Lashley's here is because we've got a WWE title match, a rematch. Miz is getting his shot. He survives for a little while, but Bobby dominates him, hits the spine buster and the hurt lock to get the win and just get Miz off his back. Move on to WrestleMania.
yeah, let's fucking move on to WrestleMania because we need a lot of beef. We need enough beef to keep up with Bobby's beef. You know.
Yeah. Then we got another good match, no DQ. Sheamus versus Drew, the one you referenced earlier with all those, the aftermath with the bloody backs and the whatever it was.
Oh, the scratches, the scrapes. It looked
scratches.
like he's got a bunch of little kitty cats and let him go wild on you.
Yeah, well, these cats got claws, baby, because they were kendo sticks, steel steps, chair. They were just hitting each other with everything. Eventually, Drew hits a claymore, but Sheamus falls outside the ring, so he can't pin him. And then when he goes to get him, Sheamus hits a brogue kick. So they're both down, and they both decide to each grab a pair of the steel steps. And they've got them above their heads, and they just run at each other head first, bonking off each other, slamming those steel steps. Their heads collide. That's got to hurt. So they're both down. The referee checks on Sheamus, and he's not responding, so he just makes a judgment call. Ends the match.
Man, these guys are just fucking tearing down the house. I love it.
Two Raw matches in a row.
Especially after my long eulogy towards the loss of Drew McIntyre recently. It's instead of him, I mean, I think he was actually off television the Monday after he lost the championship, but now he's back and putting on the best matches
on the show.
Yeah, it's great to see him continue to be in the spotlight. Maybe, I guess, is the final encounter at Fastlane, maybe some kind of Falls Count Anywhere.
Yeah, this smells like it needs one more blow-off match.
Yeah, especially with the kind of uncertainty or the referee stoppage, rather, from the last from this match right here.
Yeah, so maybe, like you said, Falls Count Anywhere, Last Man Standing, one of those type of deals.
Something like that.
And, they've delivered two good matches so far, so I'm down with one more.
Bangers!
There was probably the worst part of the night was this Shane McMahon Braun Strowman stuff.
It was so bad, and they did it twice. There was a part 2 later on in the night.
That's why I tried to cut out the first one.
Yeah,
he just came out. I was like, I got something to tell you about. Maybe later.
Let's do it all at once. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So he comes back out later, and Shane and Braun's there, and Braun's just like, "You got something to say? Say it." In his Braun voice.
You do a pretty good Braun Strowman impression, I do gotta say.
I don't know how he does it all the time, though. My throat would get sore.
You think your throat would get sore? Maybe it does. I wonder what he sounds like in real life. I'm sure backstage he's maybe drinking some chamomile tea. He's got a scarf around his neck, keeping those vocal cords nice and loose.
This whole thing was just kind of weird, though, because Shane, at first, he's like pretending his microphone's not working, and then he leaves the ring and acting like he can't remember what he's supposed to say, or I don't know. The whole thing came off weird.
I was like, either Shane forgot his lines or he's stalling for time. I have no clue what you're doing. Either
I think
way.
I think it was all. It didn't come across very well, but I think it was all just to piss off Braun and be like, "Why are you wasting my time?" And
it was like a 12-year-old wrote it. Jesus.
But anyway, Shane just starts dropping these subtle insults like, stupid Braun, stupid. And then Braun chases him off backstage, and he sees a car speed off, so he thinks Shane's got away. But then Shane just walks up and is like, stupid, and walks away.
And see, sometimes there's, some promos that create hype for a match, of course. We can remember some incredible non-physical confrontations between people that have led to incredible matches. But sometimes a promo I guess dread would be the opposite of hype. Maybe like somehow this created a lot of dread for what will probably be a marquee Mania match. It's like I just know what's gonna happen, and like it's not gonna get any better. And it's just a big woof from me.
And Shane was like out of breath when he was talking. He didn't even do anything.
Out of breath more than he normally looks like.
Sweating and out of breath.
Looks like he is.
He didn't do anything. He didn't. I don't know.
So bizarre. But I mean, I guess we're getting this at Mania. Who knows which? I mean, I guess we have 2 nights to kind of spread it across.
2 nights. I mean, Shane, he always does work hard. He'll do some big stunt.
Yeah, and I guess this will be the first show in front of a live crowd since this time last year, right? So we'll get Shane falling off of something tall and get a big crowd response.
Yeah, maybe Braun can flip a truck or something.
Sure, how about Braun flips a truck off
been a while since we flipped a truck.
Like a 30-foot height, and then Shane falls on top of it. I don't know. We can write it. We have time to write it.
Yeah, but let's move on from that. Because we did get a women's tag title match that we were promised many weeks ago.
Yeah, but
I was keeping track.
Okay,
I was making sure this match happened.
One of us was keeping track.
Because Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler defend against Lana and Naomi. I mean, Lana was supposed to get this title shot back in December with Asuka and probably win the titles. But anyways, during this match, that damn Reginald appears, and Nia's like, "Yeah, my new friend, remember?" So, anyways, Boo. Lana and Naomi. They were doing okay. Reggie causes interference. So that's the end of it as Nia hits Lana with a 1-arm powerbomb to get the win. Boo.
Also, the 1-arm powerbomb is totally Raquel Gonzalez's move.
Yeah, why did she
already called it? Wait,
Nia didn't even start doing it.
You have one match against the woman and you start stealing all of her fucking moves? I mean, I like how her 2 favorite moves are the leg drop and the 1-arm powerbomb. You know, maybe she could maybe try a destroyer or something that's actually going to entertain us.
Yeah, right.
Maybe an eclipse. That's a good looking move when you can hit it right. Yeah, fucking. This is he's just stealing the thunder from this women's division. We need to move. We need to yeah. Oh, fuck this guy. Oh, fuck this whole tag division, man. This is so rough.
Well, I guess the main event was AJ Styles and Randy Orton. They were just kind of having a back and forth when eventually, Alexa pops up on the screen, and then Orton starts coughing up the black shit again. Yeah, like Soulja Boy mentioned.
She lights a match. And then the ring posts all kind of...
the big, the Kane entrance pyro.
Yeah, it kind of gets a bit of that Kane thing. And AJ's just there, just watching it all kind of happen. Randy Orton vomits up his black oil again.
His goo.
Again. It's very real, by the way. I heard that as soon as Randy Orton got back to Gorilla, he was like, guys, take me to the hospital. I just, for the second time, threw up black bile. Yeah. Vince, take me to a local medical facility because I am vomiting black stuff.
Well, AJ doesn't care. He hits him with the forearm.
Phenomenal forearm and gets the win.
Yeah.
Sure.
Gets a little bit of goo on his elbow. Like, oh, fuck. What the hell, man?
It's weird. I mean, I guess, so Orton, Wyatt, the Mania rematch. However, it feels like it's turning into the first one that a lot of people didn't get behind. And maybe now that we're maybe a little more used to cinematic type things, we would be more, suitable to enjoying it. Maybe that's part of what killed that, what was it called? House of Horrors match?
Yeah.
Maybe we're a little more, we're more aware of it now after we've seen it been done a few times.
And I think it was them getting better at it because it wasn't.
But I do feel like we're going right back to maggot projections on the ring.
I think I'm hoping it'll be just like the Cena one from last year, more of that.
That would be so cool.
Like a greatest hits.
We liked that. That would require like a different side, or like a side of Randy Orton we've also never seen before. Kind of like actor. Over the top.
I mean,
John
he was
Cena.
in one of the Marine movies. He
may have been in a couple of the Marine movies, actually.
Yeah, before the Miz took over.
After Cena, before the Miz, maybe the Miz will be the next. Well, and because that's a consistent character along with. Remember when the Fiend was just taking out legends, and now he's taking out the present day motherfuckers while making them
legend
revisit
killer.
their old habits.
Mm-hmm.
But this is our Mania match. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what it's going to be.
Yeah, and what the Fiend is going to look like, we still don't know.
Yeah, maybe and maybe he trimmed down a couple pounds too. Who knows? Who knows?
I'm still waiting for Super
over
Fiend
there in the Rotunda family.
Super Fiend with burned, charred skin. Super Fiend coming at
it's
you.
all real though. I'll tell you that much. Mike, should we take a break?
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break. Come back with the second half of the show because we've got a relatively big old fucking Wednesday night war ahead of us. So you're gonna want to tune in.
Let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, brother, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, brother, yeah.
Back here with part 2 of the podcast here. Mike, the weather has turned. We are sitting on a beautiful, maybe even a dozen or so degrees.
Yeah, it's been like a 20-degree turnaround.
And we'll let the listeners at home whether they think that's Celsius or Fahrenheit.
Well, yeah, Americans and their fucking other things.
They have their own things. They have got a whole system going on down there. Just like we have a little system going on up here. Mike, let us move over to the Wednesday Night War. Because let's come off, let's go because we are coming hot off of a pay-per-view, which will be forever controversial.
Mm-hmm.
For the test of time, there will not be a single pay-per-view which is discussed more. Could you say that? Could you say that?
I don't know if I can say that.
Okay, well, you might say it one day.
Of all time? I know. Well, yeah, it's we'll have to wait.
For its controversy.
I understand.
We'll see what Meltzer has to say. Let's talk about some AEW Dynamite.
AEW, All Elite, they coming for you, Vince. Better watch out. It's too sweet.
Dynamite.
We were actually told during the Revolution broadcast a couple matches that we were going to be getting this week. A couple things. Of course, Kristen Cage is going to talk to us for the first time. We have, what was I going to say? This Inner Circle War Council. Mm-hmm. Which was sort of after the match of that tag match that the Inner Circle had. Chris Jericho went on the mic. He's like, hey, guys, we got to talk about this. We got to figure out what the fuck's going on. So we will be getting a classic Jericho segment.
Yeah, and MJF, they tease as well. It's like, yeah, maybe it's time for a change.
It is time for a change. But we are going to kick off with one of the matches that we were told we're going to get. We're getting Matt Jackson taking on Rey Fenix. Of course, Rey Fenix and Pac earning themselves the opportunity for those championships. And that match is just going to be a banger down the road, whenever the fuck that is. So to hold us off for a little bit, we have Matt Jackson taking on Rey Fenix.
Yeah, definitely a nice preview here. Both these guys, they can go. So just fun match, lots of high flying. Matt hit a big destroyer to the floor on Phoenix and just spiked him.
2 destroyers in a row. He does this
on
thing.
The floor.
He does this thing when he this is like only Rey Fenix does this. MJF did it once too on the weekend, which was badass. It's like when you take the destroyer, you land back on your feet, but then your body's like so hunched over. It's such a cool, it's a great look and fucking. It's Rey Fenix.
Spike too. The way he just like stands on his head for a second when he takes it.
Rey Fenix might be the best wrestler on AEW's roster, correct? Like I can't, and I mean,
could say. Him and Pac, they're both. That's a deadly combination.
I'm sure I've spoken in hyperbole before, but I'm sure if we were to kind of break down any of the factors, and of course, I guess Rey Fenix doesn't promo, that would be his only holdback. But this guy is the fucking bomb, right?
Yeah, he seemingly can do anything in the ring.
There seems to be nothing that he can't do. Therefore, he can do it all.
Yeah, so this was just an awesome match. We get a bunch of flips, super kicks. Eventually, Phoenix hoists Matt up and hits a beautiful Phoenix driver. I think he calls it. Gets the win. And then it's just an awesome TV match.
Yeah, my lord. Yeah, awesome TV match. Hot way to kick off the show. And the Jackson brothers and Rey Fenix, they've been down this road before.
Yeah, and whenever that tag title matches. They announced at some point during the show they're going to have a St. Patty's Day special.
Yeah, they called it St. Patrick's Day Slam, I think.
Slam. Yeah,
which is in,
Slam.
I guess, next week. Next week is St. Patrick's Day.
Next week already? Well, damn. I don't know if that match is going to be then. We'll see. But that tag title match will happen eventually. Mm-hmm. But during this, before the show, the commentary was saying, well, folks, don't worry, we're going to address what happened on Sunday at the end of Revolution. Mox and Eddie, they want to talk about it. So
They want to talk about it.
we want to talk about it. We cut to them. I'm assuming it's at one of their households. It's just Moxley and Kingston just sitting on a couch, getting wasted on whiskey. Moxley looks like he's passed out at this point in the background. There's this cool coffee table that had like a fire pit built in.
No, I think it was like a fire pit.
Yeah, but it was like a coffee table too, though. It was one of those like rich people crystal fires, you know?
Oh, see? Oh, okay. See, I was
think
picturing
it
it
was.
was more like a barbecue surface.
Maybe.
You know, like it's a
I don't
grill
know.
around the side. You can heat a can of beans up
It
top.
looked like they were indoors, though. I don't know. Is that good to cook indoors?
Open
Ventilation.
flames indoors? Who knows?
Yeah.
It's Las Vegas. People are doing whatever they want.
I didn't see
over
any
there,
vent
baby.
above it or anything. But doesn't matter. They're here to talk about what happened on Sunday at the end of Revolution. Eddie says, it's a little embarrassing, but I'm me. When I went in that ring covering my friend, thinking there was going to be a big explosion, I had a flashback to the last time I had this anxiety, the last time I had this kind of panic where I couldn't breathe. And that's when I was sitting in a jail cell getting ready for court with the guards walking back and forth telling me, we're going to take you down to Rikers, boy, or whatever slang they were throwing at him. And then everything just went black. And that's what happened here again in the ring. So he says, go ahead, make fun of it. Call me less of a man. Call me a coward. But I'm not speaking to you. I'm speaking to those who understand where I'm coming from. And then he says, Kenny, you think you're funny? You think you're the Joker? But then Moxley finally sits up and says, no, I don't think he was joking. I think he really did want to blow me up. But Eddie's like, nah, no way. But Moxley's like, I don't know. Maybe Impact paid for that bomb. So they get a little joke out of it. But anyways, what the hell was that? I had an exploding barbed wire, or he says, I had an exploding barbed wire death match live on pay-per-view. And all I got was this lousy t-shirt, which he's wearing. But he didn't win the title. You were the better man that night, but I did get my drinking buddy back. So Eddie's like, sorry, dog. The world title just did crazy things to me. So they're friends again, and they just close it off by saying, Kenny, good brothers, if you're going to flash a weapon, you better use it. They did their best to try to explain it away. So.
And again, I feel like because my expectations weren't that high regarding the explosion in the first place, like I loved this whole promo. Eddie's
always going to cut a good promo.
Oh my god! And then him walking in, and the one time, right around that joke, Kenny, you're the Joker. Moxley's Batman, and Moxley turns to him like, I like that. They have a great.
Yeah, that was funny.
They have a great little
Yeah,
back
I like
and
that.
forth with each other. Eddie Kingston was on Renee Paquette's show. Or Renee Young, whatever we're calling her these days.
Yeah, whatever she wants. Renee Moxley.
Miss Moxley. Well, she was on Miss Moxley's show. He was on Miss Moxley's show a little bit ago.
Before the pay-per-view?
Yeah, a couple months ago. Okay. Where he was talking about one of his WWE tryouts. Where in the ring, they're like, great. And then it was like a promo tryout almost. I think I picture Matt Bloom, Hunter, everyone's kind of standing around. Bruce Pritchard's probably there. And then you're given a promo. And it was just about anything. And after his promo, it was the entire management staff were like, you can't say that in a WWE promo. And Eddie King's like, what do you mean? I was talking from the heart. He was like, yeah, but you were talking about people being murdered in your neighborhood and you were talking about going to prison. And he's like, yeah, that's talking from the fucking heart. And in the story, he's of course, where his life is now, the story was very funny for him. It's very funny to listen to also. I just picture Bruce Pritchard back there like, you can't say that. You can't say gun. And it's and Eddie Kingston's every single one of his promos comes off so fucking genuine. He's talking from the heart whenever he's speaking. And for me, I think this little bit, let's move on. Let's move past this whole explosion, non-explosion. Let's move on. This did it for me. This did it.
No, I mean, after this week, all it will be is we'll just look back and joke about it. But, they explained it. They did their part. At the end of the day, this goal was the same, to get Eddie Kingston to turn babyface, get back with his buddy. So they accomplished that. Kingston's a babyface. Moxley can still take his break, do whatever they need to do.
Now, did we get a babyface tease last week and I missed it?
No, I think him saving Moxley was just the big turn.
Because it was just last week. Wasn't he with Butcher and Blade still?
Yeah, now who are they? Didn't they join someone else?
So then I think it might have been
later.
like right around here or something like that. But yeah, anyways, it was a conversation between Matt Hardy and Private Party. Matt Hardy doing his thing of like, you're part of the Matt Hardy brand, blah, blah, I do this for you, I did that for you. Yeah, we didn't come up across, but like I've made some moves, some business decisions, which have led to, us taking out not only AEW, taking out the Dark Order. They're peeving with them a little bit right now. And then, of course, we see the Butcher, Blade, and the Bunny, all three of them signing on to Team Hardy, I guess. No, they called it something like Matt Hardy Investments or something. He gave it a word that made it sound a little more
Matt Harding Savings and Loans.
Yeah, exactly.
No, he's got to recoup some of those losses from the Hangmans
financially.
Yeah, but hey, it's Wednesday night. You know what that means? It's our weekly Cody segment. So Cody Rhodes, they don't even tell you. This is, we ran. They just say Cody Rhodes in action up next. They don't even tell you who's going to fight.
Yeah, but he's fighting someone.
They're like, who cares? It's Cody.
He's fighting someone named Seth or something. But Mike, I'm sure this is just their. I'm sure they did the same thing with John Cena, right? I mean, we saw them do the same thing with Roman Reigns. I'm sure they did the same thing with Stone Cold, right? Like he's just
when we didn't know who they were. Everyone knows who Cody Rhodes is.
Oh, okay. No, but I'm saying, Mike, there had to have been a time where, like, someone was on TV every single week just because they were the top dog.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, so that was only part one. Part two was the fact that he's facing this Seth Gargis guy. Like, who the hell is this guy? And why is Cody facing him? Why is Cody facing this jobber? He didn't put him over. He didn't do anything. He just beats him up quickly with the figure four.
Yeah, there's this new type of Cody match, which is just like, he doesn't put you over. You're gonna lose, but we're setting up another angle.
Yeah. This is just the weekly Cody.
That's that was it. No, that's it. So you're in a match with Cody. You drop to him. He doesn't put you over, and we set up another angle because shortly after the match, we're kind of in the midst, Arn and there, and Tony Schiavone, we're having a quick chat just about Cody's shoulder injury, which they have been kind of selling over the past few.
He's got the tape.
He's got the Kinesio tape, which keeps them all together. Keeps it all together, I guess.
Which I've heard is still not scientifically 100% proven to do anything.
What is? Oh, the tape?
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, it's not. My stepmom knows how to do it, and she's done it on me a bunch when I was in high school, just kind of for lingering injuries. Does it work? I think so. For me, I mean, it was kind of like no harm, no foul. Like
it's not gonna do anything worse.
Not gonna make it worse, but for whatever reason, instead of actually talking about the shoulder injury, though, we're interrupted by Penta El Zero, Miedo. And of course the Spanish, one of the Spanish announcers, Alex, and then I missed the last name.
We'll just call him the translator.
Yeah,
but
he has been on Being the Elite a bunch though.
Okay, I wasn't sure who he was. I thought he was just like Penta brought him in as his translator.
He's the Spanish correspondent for AEW.
No, that makes sense. If he's already there, Penta's like, hey, come with me.
Hey, come with me.
I mean, was this also might have been one of the first times you ever had a Penta promo?
This was fantastic. I'm like, what's he gonna sound like? I was like, I hope your voice is really high or really low. I think both would be real cool. He comes up, he's like, Cody. I'd be like, yeah, let's go, fucking big boy. But the promo was great, and he's just kind of, it's talking about the unfinished business they have. Of course, he's gonna hurt Cody so much he won't even be able to pick up his newborn baby girl, and of course that's going to set it off.
Yeah, that was a good moment.
Running up the ramp. It's only a matter of time until we get that kind of same equivalent out of Moxley. We got to get that at some time.
Yeah, once you have a kid, it's fair game.
Like Daddy Moxley.
But I love this from Penta, just being a mean heel. You know, he can talk even when he's speaking Spanish. You don't know what he's saying. The way, like his inflection and the way he's talking, it sounds good.
It was great. There were a couple times though. I love when they do this in a translation. Is that Penta would lean over to his translator for like 2 seconds, and then the guy's response would be
like 10 seconds.
Yeah, like 20 seconds. Like that's perfect.
Yeah, this was great. And he even spoke a little English at one point. He's like, "Let me speak English, American Nightmare."
Yeah, that was it.
So.
It was amazing. It was so fun to hear. And I guess being in a a match or a feud with Cody Rhodes is going to elevate you when you're not fucking Seth Gargis.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, Penta could beat Cody.
Penta beats Cody. That's a pretty big match on, kind of in the scheme of, the top guy at TNT being taken down by this interesting looking luchador wrestler. Like that's, big stuff coming up.
Yeah, and Ray Phoenix and Pac, they're kind of baby faces, it seems, right now. So if Penta's distancing himself a bit from the triangle, who knows? I mean, there's still a triangle.
Now we're just a death line.
Just a line, yeah. Death line. The Green Mile.
Death line. Oh, don't make me cry. All ego
Tony.
Ethan Page. Oh, okay, that one was first.
Oh, you wanted to skip it? I mean, we just had to mention it happened. To keep the streak alive, Tony interviews Sting.
Yeah, Sting without, he wasn't wearing his long leather, his duster, though. Did you notice that?
What, did he just have a t-shirt?
He had his long sleeve version. Shop AEW.
Oh, the long sleeve. Yeah. Was it a long sleeve with the t-shirt over top?
Oh, that's a good
question.
Like
the coolest, like skaters used to.
That's a good question. See, I thought it was just one long black.
I didn't pay attention.
Like a black long sleeve.
It might have just like a black, keep them warm.
Oh no.
But anyways, Lance Archer comes out, so maybe they're gonna have a match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if take the biggest guy out there, have him slam the 60-year-old around. I mean, that feels...
First it was Brian Cage, now it's Lance Archer.
Yeah, that feels safe.
Then it'll be Wardlow. And
feels safe. Yeah, just go to Jake Hager, start banging out, then Shaq comes back for that next match.
I want you, Sting.
I want you, Sting.
But Ethan Page, like you said, he's out here for his Dynamite debut to take on Lee Johnson, new member of Nightmare Family. And QT Marshall's there. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It was all right. Lee hit a Blue Thunder Bomb at one point, which was cool. But, Page is here to win. And he hits the Razor's Edge, gets the win. And then he beats down Lee some more. QT does nothing to save him, so Dustin just runs in to save Lee and yells at QT again and walks off. So they're still splitting up, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Didn't do it for me in this new Page guy.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't stand out on an already super stacked roster.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess maybe we're looking for a bit of a shift here. Oh my God, excuse me. With the addition of Dark Elevation, maybe there will sort of be a shift of. I still don't know what it is.
I still don't know what it is. Like I thought it was a TV show, but it's on YouTube. But is it going to be on TV? What is it?
No, it's on YouTube. So it's on Mondays.
What's different from Dark though? How is it different from Dark?
Okay, no. What I think it's going to be a shift. Like Dark. Well, now, so all the crap, or no, I don't want to say all the crap, all the brand new performers on Dark now go to Elevation, and then these mid-card Page kind of guys who just need to kind of bang out a couple wins so they can do shit on TV, they're the ones who are on Dark.
So Elevation is a C show?
I feel like it's a C show.
But
it's kicking off with a big, maybe like the opportunity was there. It's like, yo, we can film both. We can bang these out back to back. It's easier for us to film 2 hours straight than it is for us to, set up for 1 hour and then just fucking content, get shit going.
they haven't been too clear yet on what it is on television.
It's felt a little, whatever. But, I mean, it's just another thing for people to click, another thing for people to watch, another opportunity for indie guys to perform, get better. Yeah, I mean, if that's what they want it to be, like their version of what NXT originally was, a place to groom talent. Yeah, maybe something like that until they're able to ultimately get a second television time slot. Mm-hmm. Right? Because that's probably the ultimate goal, right? Like you have Dynamite, let's get originally. Show number 2. But hey, YouTube's this fucking free thing. It's free. Even if but I think the ultimate goal would be a second TV show. Maybe even if it's just an hour long show. Yeah, and then on like Fridays or something or Monday or I don't know. Man can dream, can he?
Alex Marvez is interviewing Hangman Page, who's already been busy spending some of that money that he won from Matt Hardy. And one of the things he bought is this giant lawnmower. So he's having fun. The rest of the Dark Order there, he's like, hop on, boys. And they all jump on, but Alan Angels, they have to stop him because they're like, no, sorry, buddy, there's a weight limit. So they can't, but then they all say, let's go get ice cream. And woo! They pop a wheelie. The thing almost tips over from all the weight. And they drive off. They're just laughing, having a great time. I love it.
Having a lot of fun. These guys are having
and
a lot of
fun. Alan Angels is left in the dust, just kind of like, oh, you guys.
Yeah, it's kind of keeping everyone relevant.
Yeah.
And everyone going. But, yeah, babyface Adam Hangman Page leading the charge here.
I just like seeing, Hangman, he's smiling. We haven't seen him smile. He's been sad so much.
He's been sad for
He's
so
having
long.
fun.
I know.
These guys just want to have a good time. They just want to be buddies, and now he can embrace them.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught during Revolution and all, there were a couple Hangman fucks chants during his match with Matt Hardy. It's an ongoing BTE joke.
Yeah.
Of whenever he walks in the room, the boys are just chanting "Hangman fucks, Hangman fucks," and then he's feeling good. It must have great. It feels great to have friends just pumping you up.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tony Schiavone, he was a busy man this night. He was out multiple times.
Back and forth and back and forth.
But he's here to introduce us to Christian Cage. But instead, the cleaners start coming out with their brooms, and Kenny Omega makes his way out with his posse. Don Callis cutting promos saying Kenny's the king of the death match, and Sunday everything went according to plan. And Kenny says, maybe not everything, Mr. Callis. And he's like, oh, you mean that? The explosion. Where did that come from? The explosion not heard around the world. The little sparkler routine. We've taken a lot of heat the last few days from the company and the fans. We were blamed for you not getting what you thought you wanted. You wanted to see a giant explosion. And we're taking the blame, right? He's like, well, I'm not going to confirm or deny we had anything to do with that. But I will confirm how happy it made us that we took away what you thought you wanted. We made history. We took away Moxley's big moment to die the death of a hero. And we took away Eddie Kingston's star-making heroic moment. And then, we made you look like a pair of idiots. So at the end of the day, we do what we do. We win. And then Kenny grabs the mic and says, it's basically same thing. Nice to embarrass you. So Eddie Kingston comes out. He gets in the ring, and Don talks to him and says, just like when you worked for me at Impact, you come this close to grabbing the brass ring and you screw up, just like at Revolution when you laid there and we laughed at you. And that was your moment. But then the crowd was really behind Eddie. They're just chanting him. They still respect Eddie.
It felt like going to the ACC in, the mid-2000s.
Someone hits a frog splash.
Eddie.
But Eddie's outnumbered. So Don just tells him, because of our history, I'm going to give you a chance to get out of here right now. You have 10 seconds. And they put a timer. And the sirens start going off. They're mocking the ending. And the weird is Kenny drops to the ground and says, Don, 69 me.
69 me. 69 me, Don. And he kind of did it.
I mean, he did it sideways. He didn't quite go the tombstone pile driver position. But I never thought I'd hear those words, though, on that.
It was perfect. 69 me.
I mean, I guess that's allowed. You can say those numbers, not be censored.
I guess. I mean, it's it's by now it's almost 10 p.m. The kids should be in bed anyways.
I guess
69 me.
It was a funny moment.
Such a funny way to present that too. To say.
Yeah. Because I mean, I get it. It's funny, but so they duck for cover. Nothing happens. Kenny gets in Eddie's face, tells him to take a swing. So Eddie does it. He punches Kenny, knocks him to the ground, and then he gets jumped. But Moxley comes out to try and help him. Everyone brawls. And then we get another countdown as Christian comes out. He gets in the ring, gets face-to-face with his fellow Canadian Omega. And Kenny offers him a hand, but Christian declines. So Kenny tries to hit him, but Christian ducks, looking to hit the unprettier, but Don Callis pulls Kenny out of the ring to safety, and Christian just picks up the world title belt. So looks like he wants a shot.
That's
him and
fun.
Edge. Him and Edge at the same time going for
Imagine
world
that.
titles.
Imagine that. Of course, Christian Cage coming over was a less days. I mean, between the Rumble and Sunday were less days than Big Show, and then his appearance. Right. So these guys are these legends. You have the opportunity to hop over pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Amir. Yeah, he had that good run in the Rumble, and I thought maybe they'd follow it up with something else.
I
but
think
clearly he didn't.
We may have thought on the show that Fastlane would be Edge Christian taking on Uso Reigns. I think that was actually a thing that we may have said.
Yeah, it made sense.
I mean,
but,
never
I
say
guess,
never.
Yeah,
Never say never. It could still happen.
good. But for now, it looks like Christian's got his eyes on a bigger prize.
That's pretty cool. Maybe set up a champion. Maybe set up a championship match for this St. Patrick's Day Slam. Maybe is it too early? No, too early. Too early?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't
a
know.
bit. We'll see. But 6-woman tag action: Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, Maki Ito taking on Thunder Rosa, Ryo Mizunami, and Hikaru Shida. And this time, Maki's karaoke entrance sounded a bit better.
A little bit better. I think there was like a little bit of a glitch last time.
Yeah, but I like it. It was fun. The rest of the people in the matches kind of start fighting, and the music cuts off, but she's still singing. I love her. God bless her. She's fun. Anyways, the match was fun. Yeah, pretty similar to the one on the pay-per-view, but with a couple extra participants. You know, Thunder Rosa did some fun jumping around. I think she's the one that gets the pin. She hits a Thunder driver, spiking Ito down, getting the win.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, a bunch of women in the match. There we go. I mean, of course, this was the time chunk for them to be in. Maybe like a little bit early. Yeah.
This division is shaping up. All these bodies that they have that are finally getting featured weekly.
I mean, I guess we got bodies now. One thing that's really funny about at least these 6 women who are in this match, Hikaru Shida has like the least amount of personality out of all of them, which I think is really funny for the champion of. It's been like a bunch of days, 277 days. I think I saw. It feels like there's been zero. I have no clue what her deal is.
No, Maki Ito. We've only seen her twice now, and I feel like I already know way more about her.
She popped up on Being the Elite, and I know more. She's more of a person than Hikaru Shida has been in the last 7 months. Really weird. I still feel like we need to get this belt off her.
I know. We've been saying that for a while.
ASAP.
Because, this Britt Baker Thunder Rosa feud, they keep going at it. That feels like that should just be for the title.
I feel like that's just like their Bailey Sasha right now. It's like just throw. they're the bet. They're good. Throw them in. They'll give us a good match. Just throw them in.
Well, we are promised a title match. We get this TNT Championship. Darby Allin, Scorpio Sky. So, Scorpio with the big win. Trying to regain some of that momentum from 2020. Mm-hmm. But, good back and forth match. Sky's throwing everything he's got at Darby. There was a cool counter late in the match where Darby's on the top rope, goes for the coffin drop, but then Sky catches him midair right with the sit-out powerbomb. Big 2 count there. And then he picks up Darby, goes for the TKO, but Darby gets him with an inside cradle. And that's what gets him the 3 count. Gets him the win. Retain the title.
A nice looking small package. I'll tell you that much.
Mm-hmm. But afterwards, Sky's a sore loser, and he beats up Darby. So maybe a little heelish.
Yeah, fun back and forth. We haven't seen Scorpio Sky, as that individual performer. But, similarly to Sting on the other side, Darby Allin's been tied up in this 3.5 months of nonsense also. So to actually see him...
And the title itself has been tied up a bit too, by virtue.
And it's it's been tied up in with this, especially with this brand new, nice looking title. Title.
Yeah, the black and gold.
They redid it. It's hardly on television, but in this time, it was on TV. It was great, and let's give us something. I mean, we haven't seen anything great out of this since Cody and Brody, right? So let's get something nice out of this. Yeah,
let's go back to having the title on. Yeah, every couple of weeks being defended.
You get it.
But, that was your last match of the night. But the final segment, we have this Inner Circle War Council. So it's got to be big if they're closing the show with this. So they all come out. Jericho says, any great army needs to change strategies in the course of battle. So we've been on a decline recently, but we can remedy this. Maybe it's time for a new attitude. Maybe even a new member. And MJF says, whoa, Chris. With all due respect, maybe it's time we think about letting someone go. But then good old Sammy Guevara comes out to interrupt. And he tells Chris he's got something you got to see. But Jericho's just like, no, man, you're dead to me. But Sammy's, come on. After everything we've been through from the first Dynamite till now, I just need you to see this, Chris. So then the video plays on the screen. Sammy sets up a little hidden camera to record the Inner Circle's backstage conversation, where MJF comes into the room with Jake Hager, Santana Ortiz, and tells him, tonight's the night. We've been talking about this for a while, and it's time for some new leadership. And I think we all know who that should be. So we're going to give Chris Jericho a dirt nap. And then the other members say, okay. And they all just kind of fist bump MJF. And then Max says, well, Chris, I didn't want you to find out this way, but oh well. Get him! He sicks the Inner Circle on him, and they step forward to attack Chris. But then they turn around and face MJF instead. And Jericho just says, you stupid son of a bitch! You don't think we talk to each other every day? We just, So anyways. I brought you in. I'll bring you out. He shoves Max down to the mat. And on behalf of the Inner Circle, your ass is fired. And then Max says, wait. I didn't want to take over your group, I swear. Because I was too busy building my own. And then the lights shut out to come back on. And FTR, Tully Blanchard, Wardlow, Sean Spears. They're all in the ring. They got their weapons with them. Champagne bottles, chairs. They beat the shit out of Inner Circle. They make a big mess of everything. And then they pick up Jericho so MJF can punch him in the face with a diamond ring. And then we get another blade job. A lot of blade jobs this week. Jericho bled from the head. But then MJF picks with the bat, hits him one more time. Wardlow picks him up the ramp. Big power bomb off the stage, through a table onto a nice comfy crash pad. And then MJF and the new faction stand tall over the bloody Jericho.
Wow. Who had babyface Chris Jericho coming into 2021 nice and hot? Who had that on? Who picked that option?
Yeah, and this new faction,
Okay, so who all is it? So we got FTR plus Tully. So we got those three motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Sean Spears, of course. Gotta love him. Welcome back.
Yeah.
And Wardlow and MJ. How many people? 5, 6?
6. That's a good 6. And then, Inner Circle's got 5.
Managed by a 25-year-old. I think that's how.
But so we'll find out the name of this power faction. I guess they're not the 4 Horsemen. There's too many.
Yeah, this was a bit of a weird move. I thought, MJF was going to leave. We had that.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming.
I guess I didn't see this coming at all. But yeah, just moving from one stable to another, I feel like is weird because not since Chris Jericho lost the AEW Championship to Jon Moxley has it felt like the Inner Circle has had nothing to do with the championship. I wonder if this means that, these 6 motherfuckers, they're like, we're coming after Kenny Omega. Or because it still kind of feels like Omega, Moxley, and now Christian Cage. Like, it doesn't feel like any of these guys are close to it at all either. So maybe we're bringing them up.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, either way, MJF's the leader. But I feel like being the leader of the Inner Circle is a bigger deal.
Yeah, like, is this like, are we going for MJF, Kenny?
And the Funky Bunch.
Or maybe we're setting up this stable versus the Inner Circle.
Or maybe it'll just be MJF versus Darby.
I wonder what the plan for this group is going forward. So yeah, like you said, surprised. Hopefully we can see something good come out of it.
Yeah, but that was it. That was your Dynamite.
That was the entire AEW Dynamite. Let's switch over brands, shall we? Because a war, you need 2 sides for there to be a war. We're talking about NXT.
NXT, what does it mean? I don't know, but it's some good wrestling. So NXT, watch and see. Gotta tap out a count out of 1, 2, 3. So
anything can happen on the road to WrestleMania. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be on the main roster to be on the road, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, Yeah, because the road extends beyond just the 2 days of WrestleMania. There's the Hall of Fame, there's the go-home shows, and, well, let's find out what else, because we start the show off with William Regal. He's got some big announcements for us. The first is a video package to announce that the takeover for WrestleMania week will be TakeOver Stand and Deliver, which will take place over 2 nights for the first time ever. Night 1 takes place on the weekly Wednesday NXT television, and then Night 2 will be the following night as the standard TakeOver style on the network, or maybe even on the Peacock. Who knows?
It is going to be aired exclusively on Peacock, which means that first one is going to be a 2-hour shtick in their normal kind of time slot, but the next one could go beyond. It could end up being a 3 or 4 hour event.
Yeah,
if they wanted,
and they'll probably stack that one with the title matches on the second night.
Oh, they could.
We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll
this
see.
would be a big opportunity to beat AEW in the ratings for that 1 week.
Yeah, that too. I mean, I'm sure they'll do both. They'll split it.
Yeah.
They got a lot of stuff. Well, because we got even more to announce. We got a second announcement, and he's asked the entire women's roster to come out on stage, and he puts them over as the greatest woman in the wrestling world, and they prove it every week. And as the winners of the 2021 Dusty Rhodes Classic, he wants to bring Raquel and Dakota down into the ring. They oblige. They come down. Regal says after the injustice last week with the women's tag titles, I'm sick and tired of other people making the decisions for me. So going forward, you are the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. As he lifts the little drape and reveals some nice looking tag belts. They're basically the men's versions, but with the white leather. So still looks way better than the main roster tag belts.
And
the men's side of it.
Wow.
But yeah, so kind of expected. Once all that drape was out there, I think we knew what was coming, what was underneath that curtain. But I'm happy with it. At the end of the day, if they weren't going to give them the women's titles, NXT needed these eventually. So now there's way too many women here to just have one belt, so they can fuck around with this now.
And Mike, just like that, a wave of a new horizon fell upon me when I realized, new belts. That's right. Nia, Shayna, you can say the fuck where you're coming from. I'm already coming to NXT for the best wrestling anyways. So this is just another excuse for that too. And yeah, nobody's more deserving. I think, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, they had a fantastic match last week. They're the team that won the championship. It feels weird. It feels like a weird move. I thought this would have maybe come like at the end of the Dusty Rhodes Cup. They would have been like, psych, this was actually for the inaugural belts. I would have been like, yo, that's sick. I mean, I didn't necessarily need that Shayna Nia match, but hey, we achieved the same thing anyways. We got our own belts to deal with, and a lot of women coming up that will want them.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that ramp was full of some good teams and wrestlers that are going to want a piece of that. So Raquel, they pick up their new belts. They're all smiles. The crowd's cheering. They cut a little brief heel promo, just saying, we're going to beat you all that. But then Shotzi and Ember come out to say a few words. They say, we want a shot at those shiny new belts. And Regal says, ha, that makes my job easy. Let's do it tonight. So we're getting 3 title matches on this episode of NXT.
3 title, oh my lord.
This is stacked. So let's just get right into it. Io Shirai, Toni Storm, NXT women's title match. They have a nice back and forth. We've seen them recently. Good chemistry. Toni hits a Storm 0 for a big near fall. Tries to follow up with a headbutt off the top rope. But Io turns it into a crossface and gets a rare submission victory. So
yeah,
Tony's out.
We usually see her getting victories by jumping off high things.
Yeah, moonsaulting.
But yeah, Io Shirai still competing at the highest level in this division, and she's just going to continue to do so.
Yeah. Toni Storm, though, where does she go from here? I don't know.
No, she's got to win something.
She's always good. Yeah, maybe she can grab a partner and mix it up for these tag titles.
Ooh.
LA Knight has a little interview, I think, and then he gets attacked by Bronson Reed, and I think he's going to make his in-ring debut next week. So
Cool.
that's that.
Nice to see.
Jake Atlas, Pete Dunne had a quick little match where Dunne just gets a submission win. Another guy kind of, what's he doing right now?
Yeah, a couple of these guys, but they can also give us matches.
Yeah, I mean, at any point in time, they can be right in the mix of things. But yeah, let's. I don't know. Want a
Okay.
North American title, something.
Sure.
But let's get that women's tag title match: Raquel and Dakota defending against Ember and Shotzi. So pretty a rematch of the Dusty Finals here.
Mm-hmm.
So we already know what these girls can do. Just some nice wrestling moves. Shotzi gets isolated. Ember gets the hot tag. Then she gets hit with some double GTK, which is Dakota's finisher, but she kicks out of that. So eventually, I think Ember goes for the Eclipse on Raquel, but she catches her, tosses her into the ropes, hoists her up for this big power bomb. But as she's got her up there, Shotzi just shoves them so they kind of like fall over the ropes to the floor. And then back in the ring, Shotzi rolls Dakota up from behind, adds a beautiful bridge to the pin, and she holds Kai down for the 3 count. So we got new women's tag champs for the second time tonight.
For the
Shotzi
second
Black.
time. So are they officially both? Or like this belt has already had 2 people hold it?
Yeah, 2
Wow,
reigns.
that's fun.
Yeah, and Shotzi Blackheart, you know how much I love her on this show.
Of course.
First title of ever for her in this company, so much deserved. Another great match from these 2 teams. I don't mind. They can have a third match, settle it all, finish the feud, throw them in a cage for these belts.
Toss them back.
Take
Who
over.
knows? Who knows
Yeah.
what can happen with these championships?
Make
But
them. They can lose it on night 1 and have a rematch on night 2 of the takeover.
Yeah, but we've already got,
I
and
don't
through that Dusty Cup, we've already got women. We've already got some teams ready to go.
Yeah, we built in a bunch of teams. This was great. Shotzi and Ember, they're celebrating. They got tears in their eyes. And as they walk through the curtain backstage, they get a nice standing ovation from the roster. Except for Indy, Hartwell, and Candice, who just look on, sneering, angry. So maybe that's your first title feud.
Yeah, well,
After.
hey, someone's
Yeah,
someone's
they're a
gonna
built-in
wanna go
team,
after
like we
it.
said. The team division's already been built up these last while, so it's nice. The belts, they're here.
They're here. They're here to stay.
But then Indy and Candice, after they're all pissed, they walk over to Johnny and Austin Theory, and Johnny's just continuing to tell him that, hey man, Dexter Loomis said you're annoying, and he makes all these insults, and Austin Theory walks off. So I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever.
He took off his shirt at one point for no reason too. I think I caught that.
Show his abs off
I
or
think
something.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still not British.
No. Caden Carter taking on Xia Li. They've been building this one up for a few weeks now. With Casey Catanzaro got injured. I think she's legit injured, but
I
she's still out there.
also saw she was legit injured, which you know happens, I guess.
But she was still pretty mobile. She was hobbling with her crutches, without. So anyways, Caden comes out. She's throwing all her moves, but this is the new Xia Li. She doesn't fuck around much. So she's in control. But then Casey takes a swing at her with the crutch, but the ref sees it, so that's a DQ. But anyway, she doesn't care. Gets in the ring, beats her up with the crutch some more. So Boa has to get in there. Casey takes a swing at him, but he just catches the crutch, breaks it. And then the leader of Tiansha, found out their name now. It's Mai Ying. Is the dark leader.
Yeah,
Mei Ying.
we got that a little while ago, I think.
Okay, I forgot.
Yeah.
But anyways, she gives a little hand signal, and then Boa's ready to crush Casey. But luckily, Caden kicks him from behind, and the two of them sneak off.
Yeah, I feel Xia Li needs to do something though, right? Like this is we just kind of get she's built up.
She's built up. Now she's ready to crush.
Yeah, now she's ready
someone
to do
else.
something. So let's
Yeah.
get there sooner rather than later.
Yeah, Casey and Caden can stay teaming up for the tag division.
Mm-hmm.
Xia vs. Io. If they built to that could be a badass match. Xia Li, Io.
Okay,
sure,
cool.
But that would probably take months to get to.
Months to get to. We don't have
Because-
months.
I mean, we do.
I guess, yeah.
But in between, at some point backstage, Raquel and Dakota are interviewed, and then Io walks up and tells Raquel she wants a piece of her. So looks like Raquel Io is the next feud.
Well, we thought it was going to be that, I think.
We thought it would be. That'll be good.
Yeah.
But then we get a video promo from recent Forgot You Existed winner Jordan Devlin, because he reminds us he's still the Cruiserweight champion and his travel ban's been lifted. So Pablo Escobar, your time is coming up. I'm coming to NXT next week. So maybe we're finally going to settle who's the actual Cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, a little unification type thing, unifying the two belts.
Because I think Devlin still has the older version where it's like more purple.
The old look of it, yeah. That was a new thing that was given to Santos Escobar. So
yeah. So we'll see. I think a lot of the other guys are going to come over now, like Imperium and Walter, Imperium's already there, but the guys that we couldn't see for a while because of this travel ban.
Right? Yeah. Oh, Walter. Well,
maybe Kaylee Ray from the women's division. Who knows? Anyways, there was a tag match: Legado Fantasma versus Grizzled Young Vets. At one point, these astronauts come out, who I assume was Breezango, but it turns out it's MSK. The distraction costs the match for Grizzled Young Vets, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they smash him in the foot with the astronaut helmet. And then Breezango shows up, and they beat them up. I don't know. There was a bunch of shit going on.
There's a lot of shit going on here. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't mean a whole lot, but it didn't do no harm.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Whatever.
But let's go to the main event, the final title match of the night. Finn Balor defending his NXT title against Adam Cole.
Baby.
And they let him go. A good 20-plus minutes here. You know, Finn Balor is just, this whole title reign, he's knocked it out of the park. Every match he's had.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, I mean,
you sound like you sound like you're reluctant to.
Well, no, I
agree.
was going to say, well, since he came back from getting the bike chain put in his face, yeah.
Well, even the match that
he's
put
been
the bike chain in his
superhero since then.
Yeah, but just some good wrestling though. You know, the technical, the mat, the submissions. Cole targeting that jaw, tries to hit him with a brain buster on the steel steps, but Finn counters and suplexes him onto the ramp. Adam Cole hits the last shot, but Balor kicks out at 2. So Cole follows up with a Panama Sunrise, but Balor kicks out again. So they're going big here. He goes for another last shot, but Finn tosses Cole to the floor, and that's when Kyle O'Reilly walks up to the barricade, looking all bad in his denim vest, his Metallica shirt. Looked like a high school bully.
Yeah, with the Chuck Taylors. His he looked. Let's say didn't look like a high school bully. Looked like what a bully looks like in a school play,
in a movie or a show. Yeah, that's what. Yeah. The vest, the denim.
Yeah, the denim vest, the faux hawk thing.
This was too much for Adam Cole. He lost his focus, so Balor hits a big tope, then a 1916 onto the floor, throws Adam back in the ring, and closes it out with the coup de grace. And that gets him to win, retain his title in another hard-fought match.
Retaining the title.
Yeah. But then Kyle just hops the barricade, goes right after Cole, and then he pulls the undisputed armband off of Cole's arm, throws it to the ground, signifying this is the end of the era.
The disrespect.
Yeah, that's gone. So he just beats him up some more. Tries to do what Adam did to him by hitting the brain buster on the stairs, but officials stop him. So Cole scurries away. And then Finn, still in the ring, standing tall as the champ. But then he just says, "Hey, what took you so long?" And he turns around to see Karrion Kross standing there. So I guess that's going to happen.
Karrion Kross, Finn. I mean, we knew it was going to happen because it was supposed to never have happened, I guess.
Finn. This title run might have never even happened for Finn if Kross never got hurt.
Yeah, but we knew it was just a matter of time before. Maybe that Karrion Kross Escobar match was to tease us that Karrion Kross is going to wrestle somebody small. Maybe it was just a little tease of like, oh, okay, get used to it. He's taking on a little boy in what will probably be our Peacock main event, or who knows? It could be a fucking commercial-free night 1 main event. But either way, it's not looking good for Adam Cole. It's not looking good for Finn Balor.
Well, unless he wins, I hope he beats Kross.
Baby, who the heck? I don't know what's gonna happen.
Finn Balor's hot.
He's hot. He's hot. But Karrion Kross is bigger.
He's bigger, but that's why I think he should go to the main roster where Vince can play with him.
Or Vince can ruin him.
The land of the giants.
At least give Triple H a chance to ruin him. Or to not ruin him.
Well, I guess so, yeah. But that's that. That was everything. There was a whole lot of everything in this week.
Yeah, big week in the professional wrestling world. Always is when there's a pay-per-view. Let's get to our big moment, though, right? The wrestler of the week.
It's the wrestler of the week, of the week. Wrestler of the week, of the week, of the week. The wrestler of the week, of the week, of the week. Wrestler of the week, of the week, of the week. The wrestler of the week.
God, tough week. But I'm going this way. When really, it was what stood out to me were the blade jobs this week. We saw Chris Jericho give himself the old mask just the other night. Of course, Kenny Omega had his own opportunity, but we're going to Mike. I mean, you touched on it earlier. One of the better blade jobs we've seen in a while. And I think that's where the true wrestling skill comes in. Jon Moxley, you're my wrestler of the week. For that blade job, way to go!
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Like I said, I was hard on the match, but the performers themselves, they busted their ass like they usually do. But a lot of the times when it comes to these awards, we all have our favorites. And when someone does something for the first time or accomplishes something that you've been hoping they do for a long time, that usually puts them over the edge. So I'm going to give it to Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon for winning those NXT Women's Tag Titles.
The inaugural. Or no, they're
Second.
not inaugural. Yeah, that's right. It just happened later on. That's great. The future's so bright for that women's.
Yes, much like Shotzi's hair.
Much like
Right.
Shotzi's hair. The future's bright for those belts. Really can't wait to see what's next. And that was the podcast. Wow, yeah, long one, big old marathon because we did have the pay-per-view. But don't worry. We have a couple weeks of being chill. I think it's 5 weeks until Mania, and we're gonna need a new show schedule.
We'll
for
have
that
a fast
week.
lane in between, but that won't.
But I mean, Fastlane is just one day. We're gonna have 3 shows over the course of Mania week.
Yeah, Mania week we're gonna have to split up because I saw
like,
the official schedule.
Yeah, like Takeovers gonna have. So what? It would be Raw Go Home, and then
And then Tuesday they announced the Hall of Fame. Not that we have to cover that.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, sure.
But just for the sake of the streak, there's an 8-day streak.
Right, because it
where
would be Monday Go Home, and then Hall of Fame, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and then
Takeovers.
Friday is a Go Home, and then Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday is the comeback. So we'll have to do like.
We'll have to. It'll have to be on different days.
I'm
Probably.
gonna
We'll
need to look at a calendar to see how we're gonna plan this out. But
It's gonna take planning because there's way too much to cover.
we're still, there's way too much to cover, and of course, Dynamite's still gonna have to happen somewhere. There's still too much to cover, but we have a lot of time to plan that out. So stay with us, folks. Thanks for listening to another episode. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day, Mike. Have a good one. Have a great day.
Yeah. See ya. Enjoy your March break.
Shoot!